So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whenever you listen to this. This is Macho Billy alongside my critique and partner in crime, Ricardo Medina.
Hello, hello, hello.
And this is another episode of Beers, Beats, and Bailey.
Yes, with special guest, neighbor's dog.
Yes. So if you guys are hearing that barking in the background, yes, that would be my neighbor's dog, not to be confused with Ricardo's neighbor.
Not shut up.
Yeah. I just hope that he does shut up within the couple of hours or so that we talk, but hey, we'll see. And another thing I'm looking out for also is the weather, because yes, June is almost up, but yeah, the rainy season is in full gear. When I don't want to say we survived, but there was that little tropical storm issue that we had on Monday.
We had a storm last time, which I survived. Well, the only thing that didn't survive was a piece of a wall by me, which was really rotted out by termites, and we were supposed to change anyway. So it's like, oh, okay, it's gone. So we had to change it this week. It forced me to change it. And then I thought my fridge had spoiled because of the power. We had a slight power outage for like an hour or so.
Uh-huh.
Right. And then it came back like an hour. So I'm like, okay, well, it actually come back faster than usually when TNTech fuck around like a Tuesday. And powers go for like hours for some stupid reason.
All right. Well, by me, it was just heavy rain. Well, sorry, the rain itself wasn't that heavy, but my God, was it windy, boy, jeez.
Yeah, it had a lot of wind. Yeah. Actually, surprisingly, it had very little thunder or lightning. It had one lightning strike, and then I didn't hear the thunder of it. I saw a lightning. It turned off the light, so I was like, wait, where that lightning was exactly? Because I don't remember hearing the thunder around it. And it out. How I knew it was lighted, outed the light. Usually light when something get bright enough, the street light will out.
Mm-hmm. I know.
And then about an hour later, power went. So I was like, all right, I'm going to take a nap. And then it came back before I woke up.
All right. We had currents. I just said currents. Yeah, we had current all night. Shockingly enough. I was expecting lights to go, but, it didn't, fortunately for us. Yeah. And, yeah, boy, I had to go to work the next day.
Yeah, it was
like some people was like, yeah, I'm not going to work, boy. Nah, but I had to go back. I was like, all right, whatever. Just went. Yeah,
but the storm wasn't like, I thought the storm would be worse, by far worse, because I was thinking, wait, tropical storm, big deal, and it's like, not really. Because most, like, down, apparently South and Central had it the worst, so. Whatever.
Yeah, from what I've heard, especially South, jeez.
Yeah, we had it kind of bad, but it was, the only reason I knew it was pretty bad is because they have a neighbor, a cat that has been skulking around the neighborhood, and the cat actually found the cat hiding in the upstairs gallery. I was like, all right, it is bad though. You coming by me? Yeah. I usually running about, sneaking about. All right, see.
Yeah. All right. So weather stuff aside, we have some stuff to talk about. First of all, well, some news, some
interesting little shenanigans, and interesting news in and around Hollywood. Kind of big news. Probably the first I want to talk about is I think what the case is, the firing of Lord and Miller from the Han Solo movie.
No, you say firing. No.
Yes.
I was under the assumption that it's just... Well, I heard there was creative differences, first of all. So that's
the official
they themselves left like, what, we just... But that's... I assume that's the story that they were painting.
Right. Every time you hear people separate, they'll say creative difference. And usually it means either somebody outright quit or somebody is straight up fired. And for what I understand, Lord and Miller was straight up fired. Lawrence Kasdan was having none of this shit. And they were like, yeah, all you hot, but you ain't that hot to impress me. And what he was doing, for what I understand, all the little leaks leaking out now. So you could probably catch that on wherever the usual rumor mills. From what I understand, they were outright fired because they were like kind of too... The image for what they wanted to do with Han Solo was a little too off, and they were kind of arguing with the studio, and then they thought the studio would have been like, again, is Kasdan and she named Kathleen Kennedy, was like, yeah, we not gonna listen to your nonsense, and we the whole whippersnapper upstart kind of attitude, they was having none of it now. And since like most of the movie was shot anyway, they was like, yeah, they just simply cut them from the project. Shit like that has happened all the time. But it was kind of shocking in this case because it's like it seemed to have such a clear, direct vision. And since Lord and Miller's big golden boys in Hollywood has been for a while, pretty much all of their projects have been solid, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of shocking to see them leave the project in this way.
Yeah.
And then, they replaced by Ron Howard.
Ron Howard, veteran director. Of all people, Ron Howard and Star Wars, I don't know. Maybe in the 80s or something, so it would have sounded good, but I don't know.
Right. No, here's the thing. I don't really have a problem with this because, well, two things. From what I understand, the movie's like it's almost done. It was like 90% shot. So there's like 10% of principal photography and then reshoots. Right. That's all he has to do. So it could be like an Ant-Man situation where it's it's done. So it's not like they're gonna redo anything. It's just how the editing will come out, right?
Right.
And Ron Howard is kind of the perfect task for a guy like Ron Howard, in my opinion, as a director. So it was a really smart, intelligent choice on the part of Disney and them to do this. It's like, yeah, if you wanted to finish a movie off or you're replacing a director, again, it's much like the Edgar Wright scenario with Ant-Man.
Yeah.
And Ron Howard he's a solid director, in my opinion. He's actually a pretty damn good director. Even his bad movies are well directed.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion. And I'll still rate Rush as one of the best. Apollo 13 is also up there.
Yeah, I love Rush. I love Apollo 13.
Yeah. So he's not like a bad director, but his bad movies are very bad. Let's be clear.
The funny thing is, like some of the bad stuff, like, with the exception, well, like, I'm not gonna say Da Vinci Code is one of his best works, but far from great. But it's like the others I will always avoided, but I wouldn't say like they're so terrible, like the worst things ever,
Yeah, he did the three Dan Brown novel movies.
Yeah.
Those
Inferno was terrible though.
Right.
Terrible.
All of them. No, I thought all of them are bad, but
I thought the first one was just too pretentious though. And just a little segue here. I remember when that movie came out and everybody was like, but this is the truth. Or at least the people when I went to, some of my friends like, but this is real and Christ did that and he did marry and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, no, what are you talking about?
Stop yet. So Dan Brown is a ridiculous author, and everybody's called him like about in my circles of friends. We have a quick name for him. He's dumb Umberto Eco. That's what he is. It's if you know who Umberto Eco is, fantastic author. He's the dumb version of that guy. Like just read Umberto Eco, skip Dan Brown.
Right.
But the movies, even though those Dan Brown novel movies are, in my opinion, kind of bad movies, they're still well-directed movies, in my opinion.
Yes,
It's not necessarily the fault of Ron Howard, necessarily. So I wouldn't really lay the blame on him. He's a solid director, so it's not the worst news. And the thing is, though, is that I'm not in the mood of hearing that, well, you have a Han Solo movie, and now Lord and Miller leave, you're wondering how you're going to be, because the whole shtick was Lord and Miller is part of it. So how funny it's going to be, how meta it's going to be, blah, blah, blah. From what I understand, Disney was having none of that. They're saying, look, all the postmodernist crap, throw that out.
Yeah,
and so
this is Disney, not Warner Brothers. Come on.
Right. You can't be effing with that. And, it's just a clash of personalities, and that whole confrontation went up to its hilt. Mm-hmm. And now they're gone. I mean, who have more power? Yeah,
they have other projects there. I mean, right. So no worries.
Yeah, it's not like a Josh Trank kind of scenario where he kind of, for the lack of a better term, kind of blacklisted for a while. I don't think his career is over or anything like that, but that one went down with Fantastic Four was like, wow, you put yourself in a real weird place. Even though I don't still blame him, his attitude was horrible. So sorry, yeah. That's at that level you can't be messing around with people in that way.
True.
That's So, but Lord and Miller, from what I understand, they come across as just this kind of complacent. That's how it came across. Like oh well, Disney gonna listen to us, and this is a happy family, and our decisions, because we do all these projects, we kind of earn it to be so casual with this shit now. And Lawrence Kasdan attitude was, it really came across like, well, all you're a little too familiar with this. And from what I understand, the movie was, its individual scenes is good. Well, their vision of it now, but they don't gel together.
Ah, I see.
That's what I heard. That's the little scuttlebutt that leaked out now. I'm like, all right, that makes some sense, I suppose. So I can understand why it is that, especially at somebody like Kasdan, again, very, very close to the character of Han Solo. It's essentially his character.
Yes.
So we want to, he would have been like, all right, you're not treating this character the way I want it, and he thought they would have just resolved it in this way. And this kind of casual attitude that young people tend to have, like millennials like Lord and Miller have. Sorry. And you're too young for this bullshit. Sorry. And they just cut. I really suspect that they were outright fired. That's what I think is the case.
Mm-hmm.
It's not them.
Like they make some mistakes on set.
Right.
It's like, oh well, enough of that. All right, you're fired. It's not like that. I do agree with what you're saying there. It's
a vision thing.
Yeah.
It's a vision. Right. Anyway, well, I hope the movie turned out all right. Again, Ant-Man is the running, comparison. And that movie I thought was fine. It could have been better, I think. We don't know. But whatever.
Yeah.
Nice. Life goes on.
Right.
Next.
The next thing, Daniel Day-Lewis's
Yes.
quote unquote retirement question
Right.
mark.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on there.
I
I
don't know
heard
either.
I heard a strange rumor about him before the retirement was announced. It was like about, I don't know, about 3 or so days before, somebody was mentioning it on a podcast offhand about him. Say apparently he took up whittling or woodworking or something like that, and he's like an understudy to some woodworking master. So I was like,
Okay.
that's such a weird thing to hear about him. I don't know if that's possibly true. And then to hear this news about him retiring forever, I was like, okay, what's going on? So I really hope Daniel Day-Lewis, not like part of a secret cult or something. I guess, he disappear.
Yeah.
And when it had the running joke of, the internet make this joke, which is actually a pretty funny joke. I thought that was clever when I first heard it. I think I saw it on Reddit. That was, he's actually doing a role for an actor quitting acting.
Yeah, I saw that as well too, which is kind of
Right.
funny, yeah.
Yeah.
If
Yeah, that's clever.
So
And
that's something like a Joaquin Phoenix would do. Some
Right.
kind of real
And if that
weird out to the meeting.
if that
Yeah.
turns out to be true, that'll be fucking hilarious and awesome at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but whatever. I mean, in my opinion, he is a brilliant actor. But he's somebody
yes,
I was never particularly big fan of per se. But I can't deny how good the man is. I mean,
Yeah. I'm same here too. Like I wouldn't say that, the new project, the new film starring Daniel Day-Lewis, and I go crazy and I lose my, I lose my head and I need to see it because of him. It's not like that. Like, I know he has done great performances before. There Will Be Blood stands tall amongst all of them, in my opinion. But to me, if it's at the end of the day, it's up to him. If he wants to retire, that's on him. But I think that he has more years, no offense, more years in his life that he could actually put out more great performances. And then, by the time he reach like real old, like, I don't know, like say Sean Connery age or whatever, he could retire.
Right.
But I don't know, maybe he's just trolling us or something like that, or maybe
I don't know.
I don't know.
If it's a real retirement, the way how it's announced so strangely now. So that's why I didn't really take it on now.
Yeah.
And I say it's probably it might be a Michael Jordan, Jay-Z scenario now where you say they retire, but then they come back like
exactly
years later.
It's like the game the game needs you, man. The game needs
right,
you,
that
man.
bullshit, yeah.
But
he's somebody who used to always disappear. He used to do that all the time after all his movies anyways. Like he basically disappear for a couple of years and then come back. So this news not that interesting or shocking to me. I don't know.
Well neither me.
It's been so long between his projects now.
Yeah, but I think it's just because he puts like so much energy into his performances,
right?
That he needs time to just I don't know, to just go back to normal, I guess.
Right.
I heard that's how hard it is be sometimes for some actors. Like going into different roles is be really taxing on the brain. So you need to have time to cool off and stuff like that.
Right.
It's even worse if you're doing theater and film like a Benedict Cumberbatch. But yeah.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
What else? Yes. Tuesday. Well, last Tuesday, the time this recording. And it's funny how I got the news, right? So after lunch, a Facebook colleague of mine actually just wrote on my wall, "Prodigy dead." What?
Yeah.
And
sad.
I had to go up on Yahoo. Yes, Yahoo is like my news source for like fresh news and information and stuff like that. And I saw it. Prodigy, one half of the great East Coast rap group Mobb Deep, dead at age 42, and I was like,
yes, sure, sad. Real sad.
Wow.
It caught me off guard as well because I saw it on Twitter, and I was like, all right, if it's trending, it means he had to be dead because it's like he didn't do nothing unless he either dead or he do some shit to like piss off some politics thing.
Right.
And then I saw it, I was like, Prodigy dead. I was like, god damn, like that was rough.
Yeah.
And the thing is
that well, before we get to like the best tracks that he ever did, what's so ironic about this is that this year, actually in February, he brought out an album called the Hegelian Dialectic, which is where, so you may be kind of familiar with the names or whatever, but basically it's like he's inspired by philosophers and stuff like that. He's coming with this more kind of introspective look at life and his career and just the black struggle and all that kind of stuff now.
Right. But the term Hegelian dialectic is probably one of the most popular terms in philosophy.
Okay, well, what does it mean actually?
Basically, it just means ideas, and then you'll have an opposite of that idea, and then you'll figure out a way to square that idea.
Okay.
We call thesis, antithesis, and synthesis.
Oh,
that's what Hegel popularized the idea of.
right.
Well, I don't know if a dialectic actually meant that, but that is the most popular idea. I think that's what it means.
Mm-hmm.
It just means you'll have an idea, then you'll have a counter idea. It's something to show it opposite, because you'll find some example that'll disprove it or show that it's not fully true, and then you'll square it and square some model. And it's basically about the evolution of all language or all thought, in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
All thought must go through this process in some way, shape, or form, whether it be politics or science or religion or something like that.
All right. Well, now that I've heard that, I actually plan to listen to that album again and then just take that term into that definition into context now. But
cool.
but that album came out and not that many people like were aware of it.
Right.
I actually had it on my hard drive to listen to for like
Right.
months, but it's only on the same the night the same day when I heard that he died. I actually listened to it and I was like, I mean, I'm not gonna say that the album is a masterpiece, but I was like, well, look at how far, like how mature his lyricism, his viewpoints have gotten since back in '93 when Mobb Deep actually came out into the scene. You know what I mean? Just to show his growth as an artist was really amazing. Just a shame that we wouldn't get to see more of this growth because he's gone now. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
For me, well, the most known song for me, and that's the one I love, which is just Quiet Storm, right?
Yes. That beat though, so atmospheric. Just that rainfall in the background, excellent.
Yeah.
And that's from the movie Into Deep. Which
Yeah.
That not many people remember, but it was with Omar Epps and LL Cool J being a villain. I was like, what? Okay. So at once I liked it. Don't remember much of it. But the song that I would always that I love from Mobb Deep in general, Shook Ones Part 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the best songs from their commercial album, The Infamous, which still remains one of my all-time favorite hip-hop albums. I love that song. I loved how it was used in 8 Mile. You know, that intro scene with Eminem in the mirror, lip syncing the song. I just love that. That was a great thing, you know?
Yeah. So, from what I understand, he died from leukemia, if I remember correctly.
Sickle cell anemia.
Sickle cell anemia, okay, right. That's what I was trying to think of what he had. So, it's something that he had he had a child, so it's one of those medical things that just kind of get you if you're not careful about it over time. Sickle cell anemia is a black people thing. Yes, it's literally a disease device designed by nature for black people because to deal with malaria. So it was either malaria or sickle cell for a lot of people in historically in a lot of humanity's history. But yeah, this is really, really sad news to hear. I didn't know this would have been, it came out of nowhere. And another one.
Yeah, another one gone. And as we're talking about Mobb Deep a lot, it would have been really great or really interesting to see the him and Prodigy and Havoc, reunite again and actually bring out an album this year. Because if it's one thing I really like is that old school artists are still putting out albums in this new era, basically.
Yeah.
So it would have been great to hear them speak out on the rap game and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's only because so much young rappers, so much trash right now. So that's
yeah, I know.
Yeah, such a terrible young rapper.
The little Yatis and the Uzi Verts and all that kind of stuff. But I would, I really hope that, at least on the bright side, I hope that, with his death now, at least after Prodigy's death now, that, more young so-called hip-hop heads would actually go back to the, Mobb Deep's and Prodigy's discographies and really check out what they did, because they actually started off pretty young too. They were like 17, 18 when when they brought out their first album, which was called Juvenile Hell back in '93. And right after that they just jumped in with the Infamous. 2 years after that, and they were still young. They were around the same age that I think Lil Yachty and these folks are now, you know what I mean? And look at what they managed to do. They carved out classic albums. But for me, just to talk about Mobb Deep's music again, the two albums that always stood out the most to me were The Infamous, which I said before I absolutely love, and the follow-up album, Hell on Earth. That was when their sound got a lot more grimier, but at the same time it was a little bit more, I don't want to say orchestral, but, the production was less minimalistic now. It was more layered and more structured and stuff. Same thing that the Wu-Tang Clan did when they brought out their Wu-Tang Forever double album. It was more layered and more musical and more melodic. It wasn't just a bunch of boom bap beats and samples and stuff. They really did stuff in the studio. The other albums I honestly never got around to listening to, like Infamy and Blood Money and stuff like that. But I know like around that era with Blood Money, that was when they although I can't say it was a bad decision, but I don't think it turned out good in the long run when they signed on to G Unit. And they were
Right.
part of the G Unit clique all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Yeah. They had this song it was Have a Party with Nate Dogg. But yeah, music wise, they just brought out some really dope hardcore East Coast hip hop. They more or less help fashion that style of sound. And another thing I just want to mention too before we get to your last words on it, they also were kind of involved in the East Coast West Coast feud because
Right.
Tupac called them out by name on the Hit 'Em Up track, which I still say is probably the harshest diss track ever put on record. So yeah, he called Tupac called out Mobb Deep, and another song he called out Nas. He's just calling out different East Coast rappers, and then Jay-Z as well too took shots at them in the takeover as well. I think it was
Right.
either Havoc or Prodigy. One of them, he was taking shots at. It wasn't easy. It wasn't an easy ride for them as well too. And then of course Prodigy got arrested as well, and he was dealing with some trouble as well too, in jail. And apparently, Havoc actually thought that he had some kind of homosexual stuff, situations that were going on when he
Right.
was in prison at the time. Just all kind of drama that Prodigy was going through. But at least he stayed true to who he was, and he still put out the music. He still was willing to express himself through music, and that's really amazing.
Right.
Yeah. Any last Oh yes, and I forgot. They also brought out the infamous Mobb Deep. I think to me that was like the last great album that the duo put out. Really dope. It still stands out. It actually came out like about a 4 or 5 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. Really great. But apart from all that, yeah, Prodigy. You know, he will be missed in the hip hop world.
Yeah.
Just his style and just that icy, cool voice that he brought to his rapping as well. All these things. Really made him a veteran, really an icon, literally in the hip hop world. And yeah, rest in peace, man. Rest in peace. Your
Yeah.
music will live on.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
any last words on
No, yeah,
Prodigy?
moving on. Yeah, you gave the last line on it. I couldn't really add to that.
All right, cool. Okay, but yeah. All right. So with all that aside, now we could jump into reviews. So today we have three. Yeah. So today we have three things basically to talk about. First off, season 3 of AMC's Better Call Saul, which
Right.
as you should know by now is the spin-off of Breaking Bad, which ended a few years ago.
Right.
Ricardo is going to talk about Cast 3,
Yeah.
which I didn't get around to watching because I spent the majority of yesterday struggling to watch season 3. And I mean, it's not because the show is bad, it's just there was a lot of interruptions at home that I could
Right.
really avoid, but it just happened. And I don't know, like maybe I just made a deal with the devil or something. So like you just got the better deal, the sweeter
Yeah.
deal, because
No, just avoid the bullshit.
yeah, because I saw Transformers last night
Yeah.
in IMAX
All right.
because
Did you pay for it,
I
Matthew?
wanted to see it in IMAX.
Did you pay for it, Matthew?
No, well, not really.
Yeah. Well, then it don't sting that much. Even though it.
I know, but in a way, I did because I bought a bag, not a bag, sorry. I bought a tub of popcorn, I bought a drink, and I was just eating it out of boredom and sipping the drink out of boredom, just
Yeah,
wondering why. But I'll
Anyway.
I'll get to that in
Start with the good,
in a while.
end with the
But we'll start
bullshit.
with the good, yes, right.
Yeah.
So yes, so Better Call Saul, as I said before, is the spin-off of Breaking Bad, which remains one of my all-time favorite TV shows. I could easily say is probably my top 5
Yeah.
top 5 right now.
Yeah.
Um,
Myself as well.
Yeah. This series, well, to me, the first time when I heard about it, I didn't think it was actually possible. Because, I mean,
Right.
we got 6 solid seasons out of Breaking Bad, and it ended off on a high note. I actually loved the ending. Some people didn't. I don't care. I love the way how that series wrapped up.
Yeah.
And, it was, like, I guess to many people, it was a question of where creator Vince Gilligan was going to go, you know what I mean? And which reminds me, was he involved at all in that X-Files limited series thing that came out, the miniseries that came out last year? Because I know he wrote episodes way back when, so I was wondering if he
I don't remember. I don't remember because I know the original creator was involved, but that's about it.
Right, Chris Carter. Right.
Chris Carter, yeah, but I don't remember if Vince Gilligan was part of it. That's something I didn't check, and because it was kind of bullshit, I kind of didn't care.
Right.
Because that X-Files was it was basically a new season, you know. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Just goddamn terrible. I mean, they involved that in all the worst ways, but whatever.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
right. So getting back to AMC now instead of Fox. Right. So then we got the word, of course, that we're gonna get a prequel basically to Breaking Bad. So this is what happened before the lead character Saul Goodman, played by Bob Odenkirk, I believe that's how you pronounce his surname.
And
before he met Walter White or Bryan Cranston.
The shocking thing about the show for me is Odenkirk. I don't know if you remember an old show on HBO called Mr. Show.
No, actually, no.
Right. Anyway, so he used to be that. It's an old comedy show actually. With this fellow from Arrested Development. Shit, what's his man name? Boy. No, not Will Arnett, the bald one, the one who played Tobias.
Oh gosh. What is that name? Excuse me.
David Cross.
David Cross. Yes.
David Cross, right? That's his name. So they did a show together called I always know him as a comedy actor now. So when I saw him in Breaking Bad, I was like, what the fuck, real hard.
Yeah.
To see him in this serious role. Same thing with Michael McKean as well. Michael McKean had a lot of career, and he used to be on SNL.
Of course.
To see him in this as well.
He was in was he in This Is Spinal Tap?
I think so, yeah. If I remember correctly. My brain.
Yes, he was. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was the lead singer in the well, we all know it's a fake group, so he was like the lead singer in the group. Still one of the best mockumentaries I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. Right, and so it's so fascinating to see him in this role and to see such a comedy actor in this serious role, even though he's a kind of a quote unquote joke, but the way how to do it now.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a good thing that you mentioned joke here, because you know the character of Saul Goodman, he was just this lawyer, or you could say a lawyer for criminals, basically for bad guys. As I believe, gosh, I forget his name. Pinkman. Yeah, Pinkman's character from Breaking Bad kind of introduced. So yeah, you know how those three characters kind of met. It was in season 3, yes, of Breaking Bad. So, you know, the first time we saw him there, you know, it's like, well, yeah, he's shady, you can't trust him. I know it's all these kind of things basically with Walter and his business and trying to make it look legit and all that kind of stuff. And Saul was just that go-to guy to handle that kind of stuff. And you know when we saw more of his character, and we saw more of just the way how he moves and all that kind of stuff, and he was just probably one of the most memorable characters of the whole series. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it wasn't surprising when you think about it that he would get his own series. Let's find out where this guy came from. Let's find out about his come up.
I was actually a little shocked that he would get the prequel. Like I really thought they were going to go forward with it. But I heard it's like, all right, okay.
Yeah. And I actually thought, like, personally, like, you know, maybe lightning wouldn't hit twice with this one. Okay, you know, you had such a great series with Breaking Bad, so you know, Better Call Saul mightn't really be all that in my last 3 seasons, and you know, fizzle out. But you know, at least they try. At least they wet the tongues of the fans of Breaking Bad. You know, but here they actually do something a little bit different, actually. So with the case of Breaking Bad, where it was more like a thriller / drama with some elements of crime and action and stuff in it. This one is more dramatic, but it's the best way to describe it really is more of a neo-noir. So yeah. So yes, it is a drama. It is essentially a drama, but there are these dark undertones going on. You know, there are elements of crime and, you know, darkness and just stuff that just going on underneath the surface that we don't know about, which is something that Breaking Bad did very well. You know, it was about the shady deals, the stuff that was going on, you know, in the deserts and all this kind of stuff. These gangsters or drug dealers meeting up in the deserts and talking all these deals, you know, away from prying eyes and all that kind of stuff. Now.
Heads on turtles.
Yes, heads on turtles. That scene though from season one, either season one or season two, I can't remember, but
Yeah.
that scene still gets to me though. But anyway, so with Better Call Saul, like I said, we get to learn more of the character of Saul Goodman, which by the way it's revealed early on it's not his real name. Actually,
Yeah.
his real name is James McGill, or Jimmy, as as his friends call him. Um, and he was a lawyer. He was working for Hamlin and McGill. His older brother, played by Michael McKean, actually is one of the founders of the group. Founders the company actually. And the thing about his brother, well, his older brother actually, he's like really old.
It's
He
sick.
suffers from something called electromagnetic hypersensitivity. So
Right.
essentially, anything with a battery or like lights or like a cell phone or anything, if he comes within contact at that, he gets these pains all over his body, and then he gets headaches and stuff, and he could spaz out and that kind of stuff. So like usually when he steps into an office, they have to make sure they have the lights off and all that kind of thing. When he's at home, he has to have the lights off, and he just makes sure that that there's not like electrical current or static
Yeah.
electricity going on, all that kind of stuff. Um, and what I liked about the first couple of seasons before going into this one here is how the relationship between the brothers were developed, were explored basically.
Right.
So what happens basically is that essentially Saul, or I should say Jimmy at this moment, Jimmy gets this major job at the company. He becomes a legit lawyer this time. Even though he's working out of this room in this Asian massage parlor, is like
Yeah. Yeah.
really, yeah. So because of the history that his brother Charles has with his brother, he knows that he's the type of person who tends to lie, and he tends to just do damage to people's lives. So he just doesn't like the fact that he's a lawyer now, and according to Jimmy, Charles goes out of his way to try and undermine his name and try and get basically try to get him fired essentially. And
Right.
where we stop off with season two is where he it does literally happen, but he kind of does it on his own terms. So basically Jimmy is fired from his job while he was working at another company actually, and he got his on again off again girlfriend, Kimberly Wexler, played by Rhea Seahorn, who was working at Hamlin at the time, to leave with him. So they started their own their joint lawyer business basically.
Right.
So Jimmy is doing his thing, and Kim is doing her thing. It's just that they share the same building. They have to pay rent and all that kind of stuff. And that's what we kind of stopped off at with season two. But additionally, another popular character from Breaking Bad, Mike Ehrmantraut, who was essentially the enforcer for Jimmy. Well, sorry, for Jimmy during the Breaking Bad days. He was just that go-to guy to do the jobs. Basically, if it's not odd jobs, he's just the kind of guy who would go and spy on somebody, and if push comes to shove, he will just pull out a gun and just straight up shoot you if he's hired to do so. He's that go-to guy basically. So here, well, ever since from season one, we saw how his character developed too. He was an ex-cop. His son pretty much died on in the line of duty,
Right.
and he basically has to take care of his daughter-in-law and her daughter as well. So like he's giving them money every month and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, he's being hired to do all these kind of like shady jobs and all that kind of stuff. If it's not spying on a guy, it's tracking down some person or sabotaging some company or some business. Just those kind of things. Then yes, he always strapped. He always ready to pull out a gun. He will take licks. That kind of thing. That's his character. And
Right.
here he kind of runs afoul of another another popular character from Breaking Bad, Hector Salamanca,
Okay.
who was the old, remember that old Spanish guy who was at the retirement
Yeah.
home and he had the bell,
Yeah.
right? And his either his nephew or his grandson. I think it's his nephew was Tuco, that real crazy erratic drug dealer fella,
Yeah.
right? So where season two stopped off is where he got arrested. And now Hector has to kind of run the show basically, but
Yeah.
assisting him is this guy called Nacho, is played by Michael Mando. So he's like the second in command to Hector as well. And he, in this season here, I'll just jump into it one time. He finds himself in a situation where Hector wants to take over his dad's business. His dad runs his kind of sewing business basically, and Hector wants to basically kick him out of that business, so he could use that as a front to to sell to run drugs basically across the border. And Nacho doesn't want anything to do with that, so there's this whole subplot with him trying to basically get Hector out of the way basically. And essentially with this season here with of Better Call Saul, it stopped off where it starts right off where season 2 ended off, where Jimmy confesses to the fact that he kind of orchestrated this plan. He kind of set them up in such a way that Kim would have gotten his job to work with this bank called Mesa Verde. So he kind of set it up in such a way that to pretty much to embarrass Charles and to embarrass Charles and the company in general now, because they were supposed to work with Mesa Verde, but then there was some kind of mix up with some numbers and all that kind of stuff. But it was essentially Jimmy who switched the numbers. Like literally, he took documents and changed it up, like switched numbers and stuff, and pretty much embarrassed Charles in front of the representatives of Mesa Verde. So it ends where Jimmy kind of confesses and say, "Well, yeah, I do it," you know what I mean? But the thing is that Charles had the whole conversation that they had at his home. He had it recorded on tape. So there's this whole court trial thing going on where it's like, well, you just confessed a felony. It's like, yeah, I did. And now Charles takes him to court. So the idea is that he just wants to get rid of Jimmy. And I'm not going to say how it ends, but pretty much we kind of see where the beginning pretty much of Saul Goodman starts off, where we really see how he's very into, if you remember from Breaking Bad, he always does these kind of corny 90s looking, TV commercials. See the early beginnings of that kind of stuff now. Kim has her own issues of course with Mesa Verde as well, and just her relationship with Jimmy as well, because yes, she does like him, she does love him actually, I should say, but at the same time, she doesn't like the fact that he tends to scheme and lie his way through, different situations now. And there's a point in time, like in the court trial, for example, where she defends him and says, well, yeah, he is a trustworthy guy, but at the same time, Charles always fighting him down, as and next thing with Charles as well, his mental health is queried throughout the entirety of the season here, because it's been established in season 2 that the whole hypersensitivity thing that he suffers from is pretty much all in his head. It's just something that happens, so he just thinking that the simplest electrical light or whatever will mess him up, and he himself, Charles, grows where he tries to kind of condition himself to it. But at the same time, now everybody else, well, in particular the co-founder of the company, Howard, played by Patrick Fabian, he's kind of questioning this guy's mental health now. Like, I don't know if I could continue this business with you when you keep acting irrational and making all these irrational decisions and all these kind of things. And that's all I'll just pretty much say here. So once again, with this season here, we get some solid acting across the board. Everybody shines in this one. Bob Odenkirk, once again, is so great as Saul Goodman / Jimmy McGill. And what I loved about his character is just the complexity of it. Like, you're looking at him and, he's a lawyer and he tends to lie and do all this shady stuff. But according to him, he always says it's for a good cause. So like in season 2, for example, it was all about getting Kim that job she needed, because he loves Kim so much that he did it for her and all those kind of things. But then somebody like Charles will come and say, well, that's what you always do. You always come and ask for remorse. You lie, you cheat, you do whatever you want to. And then you come up with some sub-story and we just all supposed to believe in it and let slide, you know what I mean? And he always calls him out on that, you know what I mean? And that's what I really love about his character. Like, there are points in time where you do feel, where you do sympathize with him. You really do care for him. You do feel sorry for him at times, especially with his come up, trying to maintain a job and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, every once in a while, he would do some kind of lawyer shenanigans. He would do some kind of thing where he always had to lie. He always had to do something. And at times it comes off kind of funny, but at the same time, it's like, well, geez, but you had to do that. You know what I mean? But it's all to this particular goal, you know what I mean? And the goal might be as big as all that to us, but to him it's like, well, yeah, one little victory in along my goal along my career basically. And just seeing that is really amazing. So you can't really hate on him as much as all that, but that's what I really love about this show sorry, in general, is where it's really a character study. It's really about these characters and how they interact and how they react to things in life. So yeah, you may look at this guy Saul Goodman and be like, yeah, I don't trust this guy. But when you dig in deep and you really see where he's coming from, it's like, okay, I can understand. I respect you. But maybe there's like a 90%, but there's that 10%, but that 10% where I still don't trust you, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Mike's story, well, Mike played by Jonathan Banks once again. His story is explored as well too, where he gets closer and closer with that Hector Salamanca issue, and then we also see a familiar face, one I've been waiting for to see here in season 3. Gus Fring, played once again by Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah,
yeah, and once again
he face bluff.
Yeah, yeah. In the end of season 4, once again he's here, and what I like about his character once again is that it's just on the surface level he's like this real cool guy, real cool calm guy. He has his pollo, his chicken joint, and you think he's like the nicest guy ever. And then as soon as everybody go in the office and he calling up guys like, yeah, we had to organize this deal, and this is how we carrying drugs across the border, and we gotta keep this whole hush hush and stuff. He's not the guy who would pull out the box cutter and slit a guy's throat as we saw in season 4 of Breaking Bad. But yeah, because he's so cool and calm and collected, because what we know about him from Breaking Bad now is like,
exactly.
I still have
that's what make it kind of hard too, because I kind of angry I didn't watch it because I wanted to see how they're gonna deal with him before like the shit going down there. Like how you gotta really be, and it's like, all right, let me see how they got play the character. So I had to find time to make that effort to go.
But essentially what we see here is the early relationship between Gus and Mike, because they do work together. They do kind of help out on stuff, because like I say, he's just that go-to guy. On the subject of Mike again, what I really like about him is that he is so methodical in everything that he does. Whether it's spying on some group or whatever, he would just take his time and he would just do it so carefully. And that's another thing that I really like about this show, but something that I know will turn off like casual viewers, is how methodical everything kind of plays out. Everything, the story, the narratives, all take the time. They just move at this slow pace, and I know to some people it'd be like boring and be like, oh, well, nothing's happening, but it just moves at this gradual pace, and you see how things unfold. This same way with Breaking Bad. I know that's why some people don't care about Breaking Bad because of how slow paced it is, but I think that I loved how it worked in Breaking Bad, and I love how it works here. There are a few times where, because it's not essentially a thriller, it's not Breaking Bad, it's not about a guy selling meth and stuff like that, so there's not a lot of tension. It's just really about if this guy would sign this contract, or if this deal will go through, and all these things. So there's not that much tension, but when it's there, and I felt more of the tension really with Mike's character and what he was going through. There is some tension really in terms, more emotional tension with Mike. Sorry, not with Mike, with Charles and Jimmy, just really because of the relationship they have together. But like I say, it's more emotional. It's not like you're biting your nails wondering what's gonna happen next, but just seeing how it all unfolds was just amazing and kind of heartbreaking at sometimes too. Once again, the musical choices, because there are some musical choices throughout this series as well. I heard this hip-hop jazz band, Bad Bad Not Good. I heard their song play in a particular episode. I'm not going to say which one. The cinematography, once again, is superb. This is one thing I always loved about Breaking Bad, and I'm glad that they brought it across here in Better Call Saul. The cinematography is so gorgeous. Whether it's an internal or external shot, it's just so meticulously crafted, so gorgeous. And just like simple choices, or like where the camera is going to be, or how we're going to transition from scene to scene. Just those things just make it so make it really a great series to watch, basically. What else? And just once again, just seeing Jimmy's come up is just so fascinating. Like you kind of root for him because he's the underdog and you want him to win and all that kind of stuff. But every once in a while, like I say, he would just do some kind of shippiness. He would, he would lie to somebody, lie to somebody in the face. He would just do these things, and it's like, dude, you really a lawyer after all, You can just like BS your way through anything. And this is the one, and he literally does that. He could do that,
Yeah.
They were like in particular like in season 1 where he crossed Tuco and almost cost him his life. Just out like one particular moment where it's like, you can't really go that far in terms of talking your way out of it. But here's like with these situations that he goes through, he tends to do that. He tends to orchestrate these little plans, and sometimes he gets through, and sometimes he don't. And all that kind of stuff. And this really makes for just a fascinating view overall. The episodes themselves are slightly longer
Right.
than compared to season 2, and you do feel it sometimes. Sometimes the pacing tends to move a little slower than usual. Some scenes tend to drag a little bit more because essentially it's more like a day-to-day kind of account of how these characters interact with each other, especially with the relationship between Kim and Jimmy. There are scenes where it's just like them together just talking and stuff like that, and you think it's not going to lead up to anything really big, and sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, but that's just the style of the show.
Yeah.
But what I always like overall, and I'll just get to my rating in a bit, is that it's not a show where it has this kind of laid back vibe to it, but at the same time it's not always laid back. There are some points in time where you will feel uneasy. I like how the series kind of balances out that as well too. So there would be like this moment of like real tension, and then it'll just go back to like a normal casual scene, and then back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And you see that with the characters. So like 1 minute you'll see Jimmy's story, and then you'll cut back to Mike's story, and then to Nacho's story and Charles and all that kind of thing, just going back and forth, and just but it flows so seamlessly that it doesn't feel jarring the way how the tension kind of dips and that kind of stuff. But essentially, this, like I say, once again, this is a solid season. Fans of the previous seasons will really enjoy this one. If you really don't care about Better Call Saul, you find it's too boring, and there's nothing going on, then you won't care for this one at all. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. And whereas, by the way, the way how the season finale ends by something serious happens at the very end. I'm not gonna say what, but I was like, oh boy, I can't wait to see how they continue this one. So overall, I'll give this a light 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed the series here thus far. I'm not sure if we're gonna get 3 more seasons, like how Breaking Bad had a full 6.
Right.
But I'm really glad that this spin-off series, and that's the amazing thing about it. It's a spin-off series that actually works. And what I really like is that yes, you do see characters, and you get the characteristics of them from Breaking Bad, based off of what you know from that. But it does not ride on the success of Breaking Bad. It doesn't piggyback off of it. It's doing its own thing. It's not trying to be Breaking Bad. It's not the further adventures of Walter White. It's the misadventures of Jimmy McGill and his rise to becoming the go-to lawyer for criminals. That's essentially what it is. And if you could get past that, then yeah, you will enjoy this one. For those who like their shows with a lot of action and tension, you won't like it at all. You might be bored throughout of it. But if you're like my type that just loves solid acting, great writing, by the way, great writing, great dialogue, and of course your great musical choices and beautiful cinematography across the board, then yeah, you're gonna have fun with this one. So light cool. 4 to 5. Check it out when you get a chance.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
Right. So
Cars 3.
Yeah,
yes,
we have to talk
we can
about.
jump into Cars 3.
Yeah, we'll talk about Cars 3. How was this movie? Okay, so Pixar now comes up with his latest in the Cars films. This is Cars starring people like Owen Wilson.
And with his way
and
oh gosh,
Larry the Cable Guy.
Larry the Cable Guy,
and okay, so the thing is,
honestly, those are the only 2 people that I remember from the show. Because I just remember one scene from Cars 1 where they were talking.
Those Cars had some good names to it, man. I forget the fella who played. I think it was Paul. Big actor. Voiced the old man in the original Cars.
Paul Newman, yes.
Paul Newman, yeah.
How can I forget Paul Newman? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
No, okay, so there's a quick run through history of Cars.
Mm-hmm.
The Cars franchise is one of those movies that never really needed to exist, in my opinion. It only existed because it's actually, in terms of as a general money making engine, it's actually one of the best. From what I understand, pound for pound.
Who'd have thought though?
Yeah, because all the toys and how it sells and this kind of thing. And then apparently John Lasseter. John Lasseter loves cars. And the reason why it exists is, well, because, it's NASCAR.
Yeah.
It's NASCAR. NASCAR is a big culture. It's a culture I'm not largely familiar with, not necessarily. I mean, I used to be into drag racing as a kid, but NASCAR was something I never got into. It's just, I couldn't really get into the turning left for 200 miles kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the Cars franchise was something that, but a lot of people see it as one of the weak links in the Pixar run. Pixar.
I would too, because I saw the first one. I only saw it once. I honestly don't remember a single thing about it. It just never stood out to me compared to the others.
Ignoring some of the really, really, really bad films like, say, Cars 2.
Which I avoided.
Yeah.
I heard it wasn't terrible, but compared to, what Pixar has done before,
right.
Weakest, actually, I should say.
Yeah. Cars is pong the weakest. I'll still say probably The Good Dinosaur or Brave is probably still maybe a little weaker than Cars 1. Maybe.
All right.
I mean, I thought Brave was a huge disappointment. And I thought, well, A Good Dinosaur was something that just was so bizarre. And it was like, wait, it is the present, but they have farms, but the dinosaurs, and it didn't really flow well with me.
Right.
Cars is another thing like that, where the world doesn't make any goddamn sense. Like, wait, who doing what? Why do cars have headlights? Wait, it have a war? This universe so weird.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, they're fighting who exactly? And have planes?
And where are the humans?
Right. And then the thing is, it have biology too. Because the girl, so in this movie, there's a nice little scene where they're on the beach and they're racing to improve their skills to get better, right? You had to fight. You had to be the bad guy. And the girl said she don't want to hit a crab. I'm like, wait, what? It have crabs in this world?
Crab castle.
No, a crab, like an actual crab apparently. So it's like, it's not crab car, it's a crab.
Right.
But then it have cows, but the cows like tanks. It's like a weird fever dream.
Yeah.
This one is actually the best of the trilogy in my opinion.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah, I actually liked it more than the first Cars. They do basically, so the story is Lightning McQueen getting old.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all of he and his old friends, racing and doing well, and and then this young driver, hotshot called Storm, called Jackson Storm, comes in. I think it's voiced by Armie Hammer, if I remember correctly.
All right.
Jackson Storm is this young new hotshot, and he's like all the techie fancy stuff for the future, and that's how he could beat Lightning, and he kind of started winning a lot of races. Lightning couldn't really keep up, and then Lightning, in an effort to trying to keep up, injures himself very badly in a car crash.
Yeah.
Right, and so he kind of going back to the old town from, I think it was by Radiator Springs from the first one.
Right.
And he goes back and he kind of get all depressed and all that stuff. So they look for him to find him back to say, all right, he had to beat him back. So he decided to go and essentially sell out himself to this new corporation, that because the two guys who was helping him out, the two brothers who was helping out in the first one, I think Sterling or whoever it is, those guys, they sell their business apparently to some corporation. So now Lightning had to go to this corporation to train, but then he meet this female racer who's actually pretty good. She's like a trainer, but she's not a racer.
Right.
And she had to train him to get him better to beat. And it have a whole arc. The whole arc goes through this. And that's the arc. And it's about aging and time and being, passing stuff on. And what the new generation means and how to beat the new generation and whatnot. That's basically the story. So they have a nice little twist at the end with that. I thought that was kind of nice. I dare not spoil it because it's like the whole movie. Like if you know that coming, you ain't gonna watch this fucking movie.
Okay, I hear you.
Yeah,
but it reminds me a lot like sorry to cut you. It reminds me a lot like what they attempted and succeeded. I felt my opinion with Toy Story 3. The fact that the fans of the franchise are getting older, so we have to kind of say, well, time has passed now. So we have to deal with it. We have to move on. That kind of thing.
Yeah, this one. Here's the problem with this one is that the script itself wasn't particularly interesting from a plot narrative standpoint. You knew what was coming. It was a little unpredictable, and
it does so. So it does.
Much like Cars 1 and 2, the dialogue is just grating. It's like, geez, boy. I know this was for children, but it really felt like this kind of great and terrible dialogue and boilerplate. They have emotional moments. There's one very good emotional moment involving well, it's after involving this character. You know, what was the big butch girl from Orange Is the New Black? I forget the actress's name.
Oh, she's in this too? Or she
yeah,
does a voice?
Yeah, she's a voice. She's playing a bus.
Wow.
Basically big lesbian bus.
Nice. They just cast her nice for this one, babe. Nice.
Right. And
okay, we want you to play a bus. Okay.
Right, and she's in this, but there's a scene right after with her that's a really, really great scene involving lightning, and the idea of, you know, the idea of grabbing, you know, age and glory, and, you know, sometimes people, you might be somewhat capable of gaining back glory, but you have to kind of make space for the future generations.
Yeah,
and they do that very, very well. Again, me saying this, I don't want to say too much, you can kind of spoil things, but it was still pretty good in that sense, what they do with it in terms of time passing and what.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, I'll still put it as one of the weaker Pixar films. It's not as bad as The Good Dinosaur. It's not as bad as Brave. It's not as bad as even Cars 1. I'd still put it better than Cars, but it's still boilerplate. Nothing about it was interesting. Nothing about it was cool or fascinating. There's a post-credit scene that was kind of interesting. I was alright. I hope we don't get a Cars 4 from this, but it kind of teases a Cars 4. Yeah, and they need to wrap the Cars franchise up. I know it's money. I know they have to make money. I get it. But I get that they wrap it up in a good way, and what they do with it at the end, and I like what they do, because it's basically a nice little homage to Paul Newman, actually. Nice little reference to him. And
nice. Okay.
I recommend this? Yeah. It's a solid movie for me, but it's still, for a Pixar movie, you know, like Pixar has some true goddamn classics.
Of course, yeah.
In my opinion, you know, WALL-E and when I consider Ratatouille.
Love WALL-E. I know you love Ratatouille.
Yeah, Ratatouille is one of my personal favorites, actually, and of course, well, The Incredible is pong for pong the best of the lot.
Yep. And I would say the Toy Story trilogy, I thought all of them were great in their own way.
You know what? Here's the thing.
Some people don't like 3, I know, but I like.
Right.
I love what 3 did.
I find 3 was a little bit of a letdown, but I got why 3 was the way it was.
Yeah.
But I really like 2. I find 2 was so strong when you get into what the whole thing was about.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no. But overall, you know, I don't like this one so much. I mean, it's a movie that I get what they do with it. I don't really, but it is just something that the arc itself is still not that great, because everything is paced very poorly in terms of pacing that arc out. So I didn't expect what they was going to do with it, but when they did what they did, I was like, all right, but that kind of come out of nowhere, and they could have placed that out a little better. But you kind of saw it coming in a foreshadowed way, so it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
How long I want to talk about this, because it's not much to talk about.
This one question I want to ask. I remember the first trailer that came out for it. The scene, the shot that had people going crazy,
so dark and serious,
like,
right?
What?
Right.
You know what I mean?
That scene is so rushed in this, because because of the pacing, it comes out of nowhere, but you kind of get why they did it this way. Right. But I thought they could have covered that a little better and make it work more now, because it's just the way how they do it is that they just let time pass instead of showing you how he recovers from that. So it's almost as if he covered you immediately now from it. Now.
Really?
Yeah. No, he didn't cover you.
Worried about the kids, like kids.
That's right, exactly. Yeah, I really thought they would have make it real dark, and he would have been a mangled car and them kind of thing. And
but
it's
that's
like, nah.
the thing. But I thought that here's the thing. Like when I saw that trailer for the first time, and then I saw the crash, right? Of course, like you, I imagine we both thought that. Well, sorry, I thought that this is going to go in like a slightly dark or mature direction. You know what I mean?
It does in its own way. It does in its own way in the sense that it's about just, again, Pixar just do the themes over the showing you graphic anything anyway.
Yeah.
So what I thought they would have done is have it where I thought they would have do something like a post-traumatic stress disorder or something, or make it where he really damaged and he didn't repair himself. But no,
something
they let
that emotional, something that really
right. It's more just hurt ego and pride. That is what it was about.
Right.
In a sense, I kind of didn't really care for that, because it's like, well, he's still the character. The character don't really learn anything, and then they decide to just make it a thing at the end, and they rush it now. So I really thought they would have, do a better job in telling that narrative and pushing it out. I don't know what to give this. I'll give this a CC it.
Just a CC it.
Just a CC it. It's like it's
see it
not
in 2D. Don't need to see it in 3D.
Right. It's not particularly special. Easy. I mean, if it was, I probably would give it a higher score if it was a DreamWorks movie. But is Pixar. And sorry, Pixar have a standard that I put them on. I put them on a pedestal. I'm one of those that do that.
Yeah.
So to me, they have to kind of live up to that, and this movie didn't live up to that.
For me, I kind of see this like the Cars trilogy in general just as filler. Like it need
That's the
like
thing.
little
Exactly.
like it need films to fill up these slots while they're working on the bigger movies. You know
That's
what
the
I mean?
thing. And
That-
you
that
know,
would-
but
that
it's
would
also,
those
be,
shows
it's also
be
be
like-
one of those things where you need to give an animation team something.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So you had to get them a job. And again, because movies make money. They make money in terms of the well, I don't know if the movies actually make money as the films, but what I call loss leader now, where it don't make money, but all the products and the toys and the extra bullshit that does make money. And apparently that is the biggest breaking in the actual IP itself makes the most money, from what I understand. I don't know anybody selling Incredibles toys, even though a lot of people consider Incredibles the best of Pixar lot. Yeah, Incredibles
toys. They make
toys
money somehow, right? At the end of the day, right?
That's the thing. So
Can't
it's
vouch for,
at the end of the
week-
day,
opening
everybody kind of looked down upon Pixar as being, well, oh, you sell out, man, commercialized product. But it's like, well, they was done working for Disney anyway.
Exactly.
So you ain't getting away from that anyway. So what's
Yeah.
your point? Yeah, this one, it's not. Go see it. I recommend people see it, but it's good for your crowd. It's not as good as, I'll put it slightly behind Finding Dory.
But I enjoyed Finding Dory. I don't know about
Right, but is it Finding Dory had a theme and a purpose to its structure now.
Yeah.
This didn't really do that as well. Anywhere near as much. I get what it was going for, but they could have built that better. And the final reveal is kind of actually well done. I actually like that ending. Is nice, especially involving something that was foreshadowed earlier.
Right.
But it was still it's still a kind of a forgettable product for me. I give it a CC8. If anything, I'll probably give it a high CC8 when I think about it. I might watch it over a second time. Another reason why I made sure to see this, I was always be excited for those little shorts. So I just do a quick review of the short before.
Geez, I honestly forgot about short.
Yeah, it's always a little nice little short. Yeah, this one is called Lou.
Lou, Loo.
Lou, yeah.
Lou. Okay, right.
Lou, yeah, and I didn't like it as much as
Piper. Why we couldn't get another Piper, man?
Nah, we gotta get another Piper. Piper is like, top tier.
Yeah,
This
top tier.
still pretty good though, but not as brilliant as Piper.
All right, what
But
about
still
the
pretty
animation
dark.
style? Because I know
This one,
these
this
films
one
always
the story message is nice.
Yeah.
But it kind of feels a little too much like Toy Story. Again, it's like, this is Toy Story 4 or something. Like, you're feeling like that. You get any feeling that this team go and work on Toy Story 4.
Right.
Yeah, you get that feeling. But it was still nice. Like, we need to, do the inanimate objects thing goodness. All right. Let it get them that, whatever.
Yeah.
That's about it. It's not nothing but I mean, I given a super short review, but I have really not that much to talk about without spoiling it too much. And I really don't want to get into the history of Pixar right now.
So, you talk about history of cars and history of
franchises.
yeah. So, before I jump into the last nights, we gotta talk a little bit about the history of this Transformers movie franchise. Now I'll say this right now. I did a video review of it where I got to vent about the movie. So you will hear certain lines or certain themes from that same video repeated over here. I'll put the link to it below. But essentially, this is gonna be like an expanded version of this vent or this rant, if you will. But all that aside, though, let's jump in. I was about to say trilogy for a second there. The film series itself, the Transformers film series. 2007. First movie came out.
Yeah.
I went opening day. I'll never forget that. I went opening day. Literally every transformation on screen, the audience was just going, "Boy, yeah!" Making noise and thing. I was blown away by it. Like, in retrospect, it's not the best movie in the world, of course not. It's not the best Michael Bay movie in the world. But in terms of like summer blockbuster popcorn goodness,
so at the time,
this is what the best for me.
So at the time that came out, I don't think IMAX came in Trinidad yet, but the biggest screen in Trinidad was Movie Town.
Oh, so you saw the Movie Town?
I saw it in Movie Town. I went to see the Movie Town. It didn't have that big of a crowd because I just went to see it just to make sure to absorb this on my own.
Right.
As usually you do that just to see just to judge the film properly now. Without crowd and noise and friends and all that shit. This is one of those like, all right, they finally doing a Transformers movie. Let me see what they're gonna do with this. And I thought this movie got a lot right. It got a lot wrong, but it got a lot right too.
Yeah, I love one thing I really loved about the first movie. Although the others, that it still exists, but you know, it's not, it doesn't wow me anymore. It's the physics though, in terms of the transformations.
Yeah.
You believe in the fact that yes, these gigantic machines could form into these vehicles. You know,
and
it looks believable.
You also got a good sense of weight and momentum with everything.
Yes.
How
like especially that 360 shot of Optimus transforming. I love that. Like
this is a big truck, like a big truck-like object would just slam into something. It's like you get a sense. The first one really did that well. You get a sense of scale and scope. You know, if something could be the size of a helicopter, it'll be tons of weight. So if that's moving about, how you're gonna get that? And then, I personally didn't really care for. I can't say hated, but I didn't really care for the look of the Transformers. It's a little too janky. I thought they could have smoothed that out a little bit in terms of the designs.
Look a little bit brighter instead of this,
a little better, a little clearer.
Dull, kind of metallic kind of thing. Yeah.
Right, I get what they was trying to go for, but it's a little too, especially the Decepticons. They were indistinguishable from each other. Another thing I didn't care for was halfway through the film, they started the film looking cool where the Decepticons was talking in this machine language thing.
Yes.
And then they started talking later, and I hated that. Then I hated the whole John Turturro being comedy relief thing. And that didn't work for me. I remember hating that. I thought he would have been like a serious agent. They should have kept that serious.
Yeah.
And then the parent should have been the comedy relief. Sam's parents. Let them be comedy relief.
The thing about the parents though is that they were the most bearable in this film. But you see, when we get into Revenge of the Fallen, that's when I really hated them. I loathed them at that moment. But the thing with sorry to cut you there, but the thing with what I actually did not expect to really appreciate in the first film was Shia LaBeouf's character, Sam Witwicky.
Right.
Like I thought he was just going to be this annoying guy, this annoying little kid involved in this great big war. Like who needs him? But I thought the way how his character was developed, even though it's kind of fairly two-dimensional. Yes, I want to attract hot chick, quote unquote, Megan Fox. I happen to have this car that it's an Autobot, so I will use this somehow to attract hot chick. And now both of us involved in this war and blah blah blah. You know.
Right, and then he was a decent enough character. They had this whole ridiculous backstory involving his grandfather, great grandfather, involving a pair of spectacles. So goddamn stupid. All of that bullshit was so goddamn stupid and made no sense. But whatever. The first film was to me, a lot of it worked, and I think one of the big sells of it. Oh, by the way, anybody's talk about the fact that Megan Fox's name is Michael Bay in female form? What was her name?
What?
Yeah, what was her name? Quick question. Michaela Barnes.
Michaela. Yeah.
Michaela Barnes. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you know.
Yeah, holy shit, right? Yeah, he insert himself into the with all the ridiculous.
Like look at that.
Yeah, with all the ridiculous Lordos shots that he give her, throughout the movie, and shots of ass and such a curve back, and as they say, what you call, I don't know, is the term, it have a term called lordosis, I think.
I don't know that term, but I'll look up for that.
Yeah, you'll know what it is once you know what lordosis is. You'll know Michael Bay's career.
Right.
It's essentially that.
And speaking of Michael Bay, eventually we'll have to talk about Michael Bay himself and his contribution, quote unquote, to this franchise here.
Right. Anyway,
so
the first film I thought I liked it. I remember enjoying it. The coolest part of it, and I wish that's one of the big crimes of the sequels, and I'm going to talk about that. One of the big crimes of the sequels. Anyway, the fact that the action in the first one was actually pretty badass. Like,
yes, it was.
They actually had some clever action sequences.
Like
my
that
favorite
highway scene,
that was badass.
I love that.
My favorite action scene is where Starscream was flying, destroying a jet, transforming.
Yes, transforming. I love that too.
Flying again, destroying the jet.
I love the fight between Optimus and Megatron. Like I love the sound design when Megatron flips and turns into the plane and flies. I love just that sound effect, that the sound design that they used there. Like I said, the visual effects were just superb, and I remember kind of rooting for the show to win an Academy Award, and then lost to the Golden Compass because you have two polar bears or two bears or whatever fighting, compared to Autobots fighting Decepticons. So we come to major upset for me, but still, first one still stands as a great popcorn movie. Right. And another thing, I said this before in my video review. When the first one came out, I told myself then, like this is the movie that Michael Bay was like born to direct now.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it was right up his alley. It was so flashy, it was so energetic, so fun.
Yeah, that movie was the apotheosis of his career. Because it was like everything building up to that now.
Exactly. Like I
everything was like
he
building
made
up to
great
that.
R-rated films like Bad Boys and stuff.
Yeah, like Bad Boys.
With the Island, I didn't really care for the Island that much, but I didn't really like Armageddon that much. But you see like the Rock and Bad Boys and Bad Boys 2, love those. So it's like, all right, you're gonna do like a you're gonna do another action film, but it's gonna be sci-fi now. All right, how is it gonna turn? And to note, pretty good.
Right.
And then cut to 2 years later. But
2 years later, it had a little something called the writer's strike, and that affected the project. But I'm not sure how much it affected the project. I think it affected it quite a bit, and it showed. And that second movie was The Pits.
Yes, Revenge of the Fallen, or ROTFL. As some people called it.
Yeah, it was really bad. That second film just didn't work. It had a lot of cool ideas in it. They had a lot of cool characters in it. Some of my favorite Transformer characters from the cartoon, the animated series, the original one, Gen 1 series.
Yeah.
Continuity. By the way, from what I understand, it have like 5 different continuities of Transformers. I didn't know that.
Oh, you mean in general or in the movies?
Yeah, in general.
Okay, I didn't
it's like
know that.
Gen 1, and then it have a bunch of things. Then you could say Beast Wars is one, and then the movies is one.
Like, wow. As I say that, I was reminded of the comic book series Transformers Armada, which at the time when it came out, I loved the artwork for that, but like, I think it's because of the movies and what it did to me, I completely forgot about that series of comic book now.
Yeah.
But, like I would just love like at some point and just to actually read those books because like I said, I just love the artwork in it. I love the ideas that they had there. But Revenge of the Fallen Boy.
Yeah,
where do I start?
Total mess.
The way how they treated Shia LaBeouf's character, they had him like this mumbling, babbling idiot because he was seeing all these signs, and then you had these painfully unfunny moments with him at school. And then you had the female Terminator chick. That was right after Terminator Salvation came out. By the way, By the way, same year both movies came out.
Right.
Yeah.
I know, but the thing is, I think the big problem with that movie is that they just squandered such good opportunities. So it's like, wait, you have motorcycle Transformers. You have Megan Fox riding a motorcycle. Why wasn't she riding with Megan Fox? Megan Fox was riding with the female Transformers, and they could have a whole action sequence for that.
Good point.
That could have been a thing.
They barely show those motorcycle.
Right.
Autobots.
I thought she would have a Transformer watching her and helping her out. No, nope. They didn't do anything with that.
Yeah.
I thought they would have given her a little action sequence. Yeah. Especially versus the female Transformers. No female Transformers get hit by a car. Lame.
Oh yeah. Now one thing I'll give credit for what they tried to do, but they failed miserably, was given more screen time to these Decepticons, because like in the first film, it's only like within the last 45 minutes where you see all the Decepticons come out ready for battle now. But here you see them like from like after the first 10 minutes, and they form this big strike, and then of course the fight between Optimus and Megatron, which is probably the only good scene in the whole movie, and how that turned out. And then of course you had this whole weird subplot with them going to Egypt, and they never explained how Shia LaBeouf's hand got broken, which happened in real life. And then of course you had that big, what was the Devastator, and then they had the mechanical balls underneath.
Right.
It's like, Jesus.
Yeah. Under enemy scrotum.
Yeah, and of course the biggest sin, those two, what is Mudflap and what's his face?
Yeah. I'm going to try to touch that because that was just a mess.
Yeah.
And I think one of them was voiced. I forget what the voice was. I think it's the guy who voiced SpongeBob was one of them. I'm like, oh shit.
Serious?
I think so.
Tom, what's his face? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that movie was just, I think my problem with it was just such a squandered opportunity. It had the potential to be a better film than the first, but it didn't do anything with most of the characters. Like, the biggest waste was Jetfire.
Yes.
Like, what the fuck?
You just Jetfire? Have this as an old Autobot.
Yeah, what the fuck was that? Like, why do that?
What?
And he's a comedy relief character for some reason. I'm like, no, what I would have done with it is have him be a new leader of the Autobots. He's a badass, but he's too much of a badass. He's a little too vicious. And you sell the idea of, well, he's a good fighter, but he's not a good leader. And they need Optimus. And they had to somehow bring back Optimus, and then they do a real dread fight with him, and he loses. And you make a badass fight between him and Fallen. Like that, they could have a simple arc.
Right.
Have him be Fallen's former lieutenant. He betray Fallen for the Autobots. And then he fight Fallen, and so you have an arc, and then Fallen kill him. And then they use him parts to help out Optimus at the end. Some shit like that.
Yeah.
action sequences they wasted. I thought we could have a good sky battle like in the first film. They didn't do that.
Yeah.
They had jets coming in, but we didn't see. They didn't fight any Decepticons. I was like, yeah, the whole point of these Decepticons is being fucking jets.
Yeah.
We didn't get to see much of that. Song wave. Totally wasted.
Totally wasted.
Totally wasted. I was like, holy shit. Yeah,
It's
Song wave
some
was
kinda,
satellite.
like some satellite kind of thing.
No, that was
well, they have
less-
it like as a satellite basically.
That was cool. The idea of him being a satellite was cool. I actually like that idea. And
But
they
that's
show
all
with
he
his
was
rabbit
just doing, just hovering over Earth.
cool. I thought that was cool at first. And then what I thought they would do with him is like have him do an orbital drop and come down into the action or something like that. It's
Something
like, look,
like that though, yeah.
some shit like, look, Megatron need help, never reach down. And he just do a literal orbital drop and do some epic shit like that. That's my problem with these. And that is the big thing I find the biggest sins with the sequels is that, look, I'm not expecting it to be Nabokov. I'm not expecting it to be brilliant writing. It ain't supposed to be Marcel Proust. Nobody expecting him to be the brilliant literature, right? It ain't Solzhenitsyn. But I expect it to have good goddamn action. And that's the problem. The action is so lacking. It's noisy, and yeah, there's a lot going on, but there's nothing clever about what's going on.
Exactly. And
That's my problem.
Another
The first
thing,
film had at least had that.
yeah.
The first film, I thought at least had some workably clever action sequence. Like, you know, the guy rollerblading and busting through the bus. Shit like that.
Yeah.
Right? You know, the Starscream killing the jets, fighting multiple jets in the sky. Shit like that. That is what you need with these movies. You need clever, well-made, artistic action sequences.
Exactly.
And that's my problem. And
But with the second one here, it's more reduced to all these excuses of having humans running super slow-mo, you know, in front of in front of an explosion. Sorry,
right.
And it's just like the fight's just reduced to what? Just these indistinguishable creatures basically just fight to the duke of the town, and the camera angles so tight that it's hard to really.
You can't see nothing.
Yeah, it's hard to really figure out who is who. You're not sure.
Yeah, I hated that, and you couldn't make out anything. And one of the big things, like especially in the another thing is that the fighters end so quickly. So you think it's like a good battle supposed to happen now. Like in the final fight with Optimus and Fallen, like, okay, Optimus get all Jetfire parts, that look badass. He say, I forget what he say, Lex Rock or something like that, and then fly off.
I can't remember.
Right, whatever. Badass. Pretty badass moment. Crowd cheer, and then he just kick Fallen ass in like 2 fucking seconds, and like, what the hell? Dies it? And they could have do more with it. Here's another thing they could have done. Remember in the cartoon, Megatron turned into a gun?
Yes!
Have Fallen take Megatron and say, look, Megatron, you ain't serving that purpose. You're not that strong in for this fight anyway, but you can help him out now.
Yeah, if you join forces, that kind of thing.
Take Megatron and like hijack his body to transform into a hand cannon or something. So it register with the whole gun thing from the cartoon now. Like, oh yeah, Megatron is a gun. They do that in the show, but he's a hand cannon this time. So he could be like a Mega Man hand cannon for Fallen or something that makes Fallen a little stronger.
Right.
You know? So it's like a merger. Yeah. Nothing. Total letdown. I mean, total failure of imagination with something that you have so much money and resources to do. Complete failure of imagination.
That's the thing. It's because they had the money, you know, they had the resources. They could have done so much more, and this is what we got to know.
And the other thing is that this idea that the Transformers is a doomed franchise, no, not true. You could totally make a solid movie franchise out of this shit.
Yeah.
But Mike Vaders didn't give a fuck.
No. I will talk about that as well too. But you see, right here, this was literally the beginning of the end, and you know, to this day, it remains as one of the worst movies ever, in my honest opinion. So, cut to 2 years later, boy, Dark of the Moon.
This was I hate this movie more than the second film personally. Mostly because
same here too. Same here.
Right. Mostly because it's not a worse film, but mostly because 2 things. One, the writer's strike. You know, it's kind of get them a break with that. Writer's strike everybody suffer under it. That's one. But 2, the fact that you had lessons to learn. You say, okay, you fuck up from the second film. At least take these lessons and learn. Right? Yeah. Writer's strike, gimpier. I get it. The writer's strike hamper you from the second film, so you're not supposed to have that problem with third film. And they still fuck it up.
Yes, it did.
It's like, again, more noise, more nonsense. The only thing that was kind of cool was the whole the worm thing. That was cool. I get that.
Right, yeah. I think that was the highlight of the whole movie.
Yeah, it looked good.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive special effects, and it was a decent action sequence, even though it was a humans thing. That is another thing that's bothered the hell out of me. Humans. I hate that shit.
And it's always these bland characters.
Bland as humans. Although it had this guy, the football player. It had the football player, I think Terry Tate, was in the sequence. I'm like, wait, I know Terry Tate, cool. That's a cool cameo because I'm a big fan of him.
Right.
Mostly because of Gears of War. He's the voice of one of the most kind of a stereotypical character, but he's still a good character. Augustus Cole from Gears of War. So I was to see him in the movie was a nice little thing. He's a funny dude. He's a nice. He's like great. Yeah. Yeah, the third film sucked. Even though it had this guy in it,
Leonard Nimoy, rest in peace.
Leonard Nimoy, voice, yeah.
Yeah. Sentinel Prime,
Sentinel Prime.
I don't even know much about Sentinel Prime, but I assume he's a great character. And I find they didn't do much with him.
They didn't do much with him. They wasted because he's supposed to be a villain, but they do it stupid. And the final action sequence with him and thing was so short. It's like he had a fight Sentinel Prime, and again you're thinking it's a good clash. Nope. Afterwards, just wash him out in like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And like what? And then afterwards, just murder him, eh? Like afterwards, it's a complete psychopath in the third one for me. Like what the hell? He's supposed to be the hero.
I know, right? but here's the thing.
That's a precursor to Badass Steel, eh?
Yeah, but here's the thing with me and Dark Moon, right? So right off the bat, okay, so Megan Fox isn't there anymore. Cool, no problem. They bring in who? Rosie Huntington Whiteley to play Shia LaBeouf's girlfriend.
And they starting shot with a big shot up she ass.
yes, nice legs and ass.
And it's like this what you're at.
And I'm like, this is how you introduce a character, a new character to your franchise. And she did little to nothing in this movie. There's 2 shots actually of her like staring out into space while there's explosions behind her. Still remains some of the most hilarious stuff I've ever seen in any movie. The pacing of it was piss poor. It's like a whole chunk of time just devoted to Sam and his new job and John Malkovich being that crazy boss and Ken Jeong being wasted totally. And then it's only in the last hour. I mean, there's some stuff that happened, but not too much. And then the last hour of it was just this long, extended action sequence that just went on and on and on and just drained me to the point that by the time the movie ends on this abrupt note, and it ends abruptly, I was just like,
yeah.
It done? Finally? Hallelujah. It just drained me out. Your third act didn't need to be that long. The pace, it didn't need
it was
to be
long.
that poor.
Because this was in Chicago, eh?
Terrible. Yeah, Battle of Chicago, right.
And it was long. It was like an hour long. You didn't notice how long it was because of the noise, no?
Yeah. I mean, fine, you got to see your humans and they were doing things and Shia LaBeouf's character was running and doing parkour in one scene where he was like jumping over cars and stuff like that, but geez, it just kept going on and on and on and on. But yeah, Dark the Moon, I totally
rubbish.
I mean, Revenge of the Fallen, you can kind of watch and you know, in a so bad it's good kind of way, but
again, Revenge of the Fallen,
movie again.
I give Revenge of the Fallen a bit of a shake because you give it a blie because of the writer's strike. Mostly because of the writer's strike. Yes, it should have still been a better movie, but you know, it's kind of like Suicide Squad. It didn't really get a fair shake kind of thing.
Yeah,
right.
Because
still would have been bad.
Still
would have been bad, but I expected it to be about as good as the first one. Whatever. Yeah. Right? Maybe. But this third one had no excuse. It was shit. The twist was shit. You know where they was working with apparently they was working with them to bring with this Cybertron to Earth for some reason. Yeah. Like why? Whatever. Stupidness. Then
we had Age of Extinction, boy. 3 years later we got this one, eh? And of course we were like, alright, they go in a new direction, they're looking dark. The font that they use for the words a little thinner now, so that means they gotta be edgy now. Ooh, okay. Yeah. They have Mark Wahlberg in it, but
they change the character, the main character.
Characters, new cast, new fresh blood in it now. Same Michael Bay, of course, so you know what to expect already. I saw it on big screen, and while I did hate it as much as Dark of the Moon, but this was another bad movie again. First of all, first one, inexcusable, is the run time. Yeah. This movie does not need to be 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Right. For some people, the fourth one is the worst one. But my attitude towards it.
Okay.
For many people, actually, a lot of people hate the fourth one the most. But here's the thing: my attitude towards that fourth one. By that time, I checked out. Right? Totally checked out to the franchise. Didn't give a fuck. Stop caring. Wait, quick question: was Alan Tudyk in the third film, right?
I can't remember.
Okay, yeah. Alan Tudyk, I think, had a little side sequence in the third film, if I remember correctly. But in this one, I actually had a lot of fun in this one, mostly because of Stanley Tucci.
Yes.
I thought Stanley Tucci's character in this was kind of hilarious. He's kind of pretty good, and he's totally saving the movie for me. Like, if it wasn't for I'd have probably walk out. Probably. With him, though, he just had so many good, funny moments in it. And, of course, this movie was brought to you by the People's Republic of China.
Oh, boy.
It was so goddamn
this whole hour-long sequence.
Yes.
I think it's about an hour-long. No, yeah, like leading up to the third act, where they just switch, they just move from the States and they just go to Beijing and then they go to Hong Kong and just have excuses for just Transformers just be destroying stuff.
Right. And they have a sequence with well, okay, so it's a joke. There's a running joke about, remember, Michael Bay was assaulted on set for the fourth one, right?
Yes.
I don't remember that story. Yeah. So they have a whole bit with that. I think they make a little slight reference to the movie. I think you see it for 2 seconds, like, oh, there's a reference to that. And then they had a bunch of Chinese actors apparently in the film as well.
Yeah, none of whom I recognize. But
I don't know.
I don't know about it.
I just knew that they were Chinese actors.
Right.
Like, all right, but it's clearly to make money. By the way.
Go on.
Yeah, by the way, so they clearly know the box office. Again, much like with The Mummy, it's just this cynical attitude of catering to the low. In my opinion, once you say you're catering to international audiences, that, in my opinion, is catering to the lowest common denominator. Because international audiences, what we mean by that is really mean burgeoning economies, right? People who don't know. I don't want to look down upon them, but from a film culture standpoint, on average, probably don't know better, right? In terms of what good movies are. They know how to appeal to the masses. They design these movies for that, and that is what you have to do, right? American audiences slightly more sophisticated. Again, I might be talking bad about international audiences, but yeah, the Chinese market is kind of like that. It is either catering to something purely political, or you do something baser to the culture. And them Chinese people love them robots, boy.
Yeah, boy, clearly they do.
And that's it. So it ended up just making like that movie did so well because they just cater to China really well. From what I understand, this movie does that. This movie did really goddamn well in China. It did reasonably okay in America. It did 63 million for the first weekend, which is normal. Pretty low for a Transformers movie, but people kind of getting fed up by now. But in thing, yeah. And yeah, that fourth film was a mess for me. It was just all over the goddamn place. They put in bunch of subplots, like 10 different subplots in the fucking thing.
Yeah,
and
like literally, sorry to cut you. Literally, it does feel like a trilogy's worth of subplots integrated into this one film. You have Galvatron being formed from this company that Stanley Tucci owns, and they create something called Transformium, which is like the worst name you could come up with ever. And then there's this thing, the thing with Mark Wahlberg, and then of course you have like Kelsey Grammer's character. And
Kelsey Grammer was okay.
Watching it again, because I'll talk about watching over Transformers movies. I watched it over, and he was a really convincing villain.
He was good.
Face, but just his mannerisms.
It's how they shoot him and thing. It's like, all right, well, and the thing is because they just proved that a good actor could do anything with material, eh?
Yeah. And even though his dialogue was like real
is.
corny, like real cheesy, I'm doing this for America, it's for the people.
Yeah, but it worked.
But it worked.
It worked in the context, because the whole thing is that is the evil, deep state American government versus the libertarian hero. Yeah. That bullshit now. And never mind the fact that he blatant product placement right throughout the movie.
Oh,
him drinking
Bud
beer,
Light, that
Bud Light, yeah, boy.
Bud Light, perfect example.
Yeah, but
what was that? What was that?
Yeah.
Crashing into a Bud Light truck. I mean, and then they have Marky Mark of all people taking up one is like drinking it. But let me talk about Marky Mark's character, boy. Kid Yeager, boy. Yeah. The inventor whose friend who he was working with for a long while, T.J. Miller, dies in the first act, and all through the rest of the show he doesn't care. He doesn't even mention him at any point in time after his death. It's just like, oh well, he died. Whatever. Right. But the biggest issue though in that was him taking shots at his daughter, played by the talented actress Nicola Peltz. Australian / Irish sounding boyfriend who's acting with this all over the place. Yeah. That
whole sequence in the opening is so fucking bizarre. They decide to have this whole subplot about a man trying to explain why he could legally have sex with an underage girl.
Yeah.
And I sit the dog watching this.
Law, whatever it is. I'm like, what is this?
And I like, what? Why is this in the fucking script, Dread?
Because
That
you have to
was so
justify why
goddamn
this girl
strange,
was
eh?
like what 16 at the time, and
Right,
when she
yeah,
wear
so
all
her
these kind
character
of
was-
shorts and thing,
Right,
why she
right.
would have a boyfriend that age?
Right. So her character was 17, I think.
Okay,
Whatever.
whatever.
Not helping. Not helping. But it's 17 and she didn't leave high school yet.
Yeah.
And he's, I think in his 20s. He's like
I think
23 or 24.
Well, I think it's early 20s if I'm not mistaken.
Right. 20, whatever. The point is he's above 20. And he carrying in his wallet something to
Yeah, a card with where it is a Romeo
Right.
and Juliet law and the states.
Yeah, and I-
blah 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 blah.
and that's supposed to, I don't know what the fuck what that was about. If it's supposed to be funny or if it's supposed to be, I don't know what the fuck that was about, but that was so goddamn bizarre.
It
that
was.
the
It was
movie.
kind of
What
creepy
the
too.
hell is this?
The time that they spent talking about that was
Yes,
just
Trent.
downright creepy. But
Yeah, that was so
what was
disturbing.
that?
What is
And
this?
and just to touch on her a bit, her character was what was
Point.
the point of her? Like
Point.
in the right. So there's this car chase scene right after the Kelsey Grammer's army bust through and try to kill Optimus and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
And they go into like this construction site now. And her boyfriend driving the car now. So she's like, drive through there, drive up there, drive down there. She telling the man what to do.
Right.
Why?
And he's supposed to be a
not
big
behind
rally
the wheel.
driver
Why
or
you
something
telling
like
this
that.
man what to do for? And she just calm herself. Was like, drive
Yeah.
over there, drive over there. At no point in time did I feel like, oh, well, these people are out to kill
yeah.
us.
TJ Miller was in this movie,
Lame
right?
shit. That's what I'm saying. And he did
Yeah.
just kill him off just
Right.
so.
He does. Yeah. He
And
get
they
killed
don't
off.
acknowledge him at all. I hate when movies
Yeah,
do that. By
let's
the way.
move on.
Yeah, let's move on.
Oh,
There's another thing that I didn't like though. Well,
there's
there's
a story-
all these little inconsistencies, by the way.
Right.
Where the villain of Lockdown, which by the way,
He looked cool, eh?
he was a cool villain. I like how his face.
That's a
looked
great
and
design.
Blah, blah, blah. That was a great design, right?
Yeah.
His motivation was real sloppy. He was just like, well, I just working
Yeah,
for these guys, and the plan was just to kidnap Optimus and bring him back to his creators. Blah blah blah, right? So they use a net, right, to capture Optimus, and the car that Nicola Peltz was in ended up coming up now. But in the third act, when Lockdown's ship came back, this man have a device that a big magnet that could suck up
Yeah, everything.
everything. So why
But that
did
did
you
not-
use that to bring
Yeah,
up Optimus
stupid.
4?
Whatever. Now, all of them things I stopped caring about. I just laugh at it. I just move on because, like, what happened at the end of the film is an example of that.
Oh yes, where he suddenly has the ability
Jet
to
boot.
fly.
Yeah, like
Although some people just argue he actually did it in part 2.
no.
Oh, well,
In part two, it was part of another person's body. He didn't have it in part 3, so it's like, what the fuck?
right, and it was wings, right? I remember him.
No, yeah,
having
exactly.
wings
It
or
was
some sort,
jetpacks
right?
from Jetfire.
Jetpacks, right?
Right. Whatever.
Where these jet boots thing come from?
Yeah, stupidest. But the part of the movie that was the weirdest was when, again, this is when that is the moment. I keep telling the story because it's the exact fucking moment when I give up on the franchise. I was sitting down, I was at IMAX watching it, and I was like, well, this is when Optimus he drive it, and then he body bash up.
Yeah.
Bobby bash up for you.
I just happened to spot this random truck, and lo
Yeah.
and behold, oh, now I got to it.
He turned back and he completely repair himself. Completely and like, wait, how he do this? And it's like,
how?
how?
I don't
But
know why he
whoever.
takes so long
And
to
then
do that.
here's the thing, eh? It didn't make nothing about it made sense. I'm sure some nerd on the internet gonna tell me how he do it. Whatever, I don't give a shit. And it had this one man about 2 seats before me, in 2 rows before, or 2 or 3 rows before, just sitting down, and that man was, boy, that what I'm talking about. And I was like, well, that is it. I'm done. That was the point. Because I was like, yeah, this ain't for me. That man clearly didn't give a shit.
You know?
Optimus heal himself. He's the champion. He coming back. You don't have to explain shit.
Yeah, they even
Go up
explained the whole
and
Dino
shit.
Butts thing, shit, all of it. Like,
And that was a mess too.
that was a mess.
I mean,
that was
this
a
movie was a
letdown.
mess.
Say
Whatever.
what you want that you get to see Dino Butts in live action. That was a letdown. You cannot tell
Right.
me that was a
That was,
letdown.
that was a waste. Yeah.
Right,
That's it.
But here's the thing, eh? Well, with me and Age of Extinction, I actually watched it a week before watching this new one here last night because you know me,
Right.
I like to recap, I like to refresh the memory, and literally that show, the length hit, like I felt the length of that, but I was reminded of how punishing that length was, but it was
Yeah.
just so much going on to the point. I mean, yes, visually it looked real good. The action scenes, especially in the third act, I'll admit, was pretty entertaining. Some CG didn't look good, but that's another story.
Right.
But still, it was just so long, and there was no need for it to be this long. And to me, it just felt like somebody was just bashing me over the head for the past hour and a half, you know?
Yeah.
And I just gave up. Like, I was just bleeding out the side of my head. I was just like, ooh, Dinobots. Ooh, look at Optimus. Ooh. While blood is running down my face strip. That's literally what Age of Extinction was to me. And I can't let that slide. There was no reason for it to be that long. There's no reason for it to be that inconsistent. Like, you know what I mean? And you're right. 3 movies in, you'd think that, Michael Bay and his team would actually look back and be like, okay, this is what didn't work. Like, you make some kind of effort to, make the story work. But I have one person to blame for this. I did see it in the video review. Aaron Kruger. Who, apparently, I can now see it here, actually wrote the scripts for Age of Extinction, Dark of the Moon, and Revenge of the Fallen. And all 3 of them have sucked.
Yeah.
That's surprising, right? Yeah. So, as much as it pains me, let me jump into The Last Night, boy. So, what is The Last Night about, boy? Alright, so, basically, some years have passed. Well, that's the first thing about the show that threw me off. We never really know how much time passed since Age of Extinction. So, we cut to, like, some time after Age of Extinction. We're back in the States. And apparently now, for some reason, more Transformers arriving on Earth. So this new task force, this new military group called the TRF, which when you think about this, technically Transformers, but they're shortened down, Right. So they assigned now to wipe out all Transformers. All Transformers are bad now, And alright, I'll just keep stopping and saying this is what I don't like and this is what I don't understand, right? So 4 movies in, right? These machines have stepped in and saved Earth from annihilation, right?
Yeah, how much time
with
is it?
each and every movie, let me just say from Age of Extinction go on, we always looking for a reason to kind of demonize these robots, and there's the enemy, we have to wipe them out now because movie, Like, why, Adrian? Why? So anyway, so now all Transformers is like public enemy number 1. And inexplicably, I hate saying this name, Cade Yeager is a fugitive from justice now because he working with the Autobots and he helping Bumblebee and others fight the TRF and all that kind of stuff, right? So now he on the run basically, right? But inexplicably, you see him in Chicago, and then this is right after you see remnants from the Battle of Chicago, which happened years ago, but we're still talking about it, right? Because movie, and this is where we get introduced to this new girl, this Latina girl. Actually, she's like 14 years old, and for some reason, she knows everything about Transformers. She knows how they design. She knows how to fix them up. She knows the weak spots. She knows all these things, right? But how much time passed for you to know these things? I don't know. But anyway, so same thing with Cade. Cade knows all these things too, and study that in the last film you know little to nothing about how these things work. But you know all these things all of a sudden. Now he's public enemy number 1. So he has this junkyard basically over in Dakota, right? And this black guy, well, of course, he need the token nerd guy to be in it, of course. So he's there and he helps him out. And like by the time he introduces his character, they're just shouting at each other. Both Cade and the black fella there. They're just shouting, loud. Like,
is that fella from is Michael Carmichael? What's the actor's name? Is that it have a show Carmichael right now? A kind of popular actor. He kind of trying to be the new Dave Chappelle, but if Dave Chappelle actually sold out. It's Carmichael, I think is his name. Carmichael show. Whatever.
Jared Carmichael.
Yeah, Jared Carmichael. Yeah.
Alright, so
okay, he in this?
he is in this. He is the black fellow who's we talking there, right?
Right.
And shouting stuff. So, and there some of the Autobots from the last film hide out there. So we see Hound, which is this burly, fat Autobot played by John Goodman once again. Remember that guy? Yeah, the weapons guy there, right?
Yeah, I remember the 4th one. Yeah.
We have the stereotypical Japanese one, played by Ken Watanabe. We have the
Yeah.
stereotypical British one. I forgot the guy who does the voice for him. It sounds like Jesus Statham, but no, it's not him, right? And
Yeah.
for some reason he has a cloak, like a jacket on,
Yeah.
because
I remember
because
that probably
movie,
photo.
yeah, right. And we see Grimlock here. Well,
Right.
and finally they call him Grimlock. They never called Grimlock in the previous film.
Does he talk?
No, he does not.
Yeah, lame. Yeah, the whole point.
Right. So
to
the
talk.
scene that you saw in the trailer where he swallowed the card and spit it out, that's what he
Right.
does.
That is it.
He
Yeah.
walks around, does damage, and then spits it out and blows fire and all that kind of stuff. And that goes into another thing about this show that I really hated about, just generally about the Transformers themselves. Now, from the first one, yes, it's established that they're big, right? They're large, right? Gargantuan. And I like that there was this one scene in particular where they had to go to Sam's house and they were hiding when he was looking for the thing, and they were trying to hide there. And they were falling over.
With Sam with Ricky comes back?
I'll get to that.
Okay.
No, but I'm talking about the first film, right? That one
Right,
scene
right,
where they
right,
went
right,
by his
yeah.
house and they were like trying to blend in and they were hitting down telephone poles and stuff. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. That was a clever moment, all right?
Yeah.
But with this one here, it's like every time they show up, every time they introduce, they're like cartoon characters. And I talk about like Tom and Jerry, Roadrunner, and Wile E. Coyote kind of cartoon characters where they have one function: do some kind of crazy inner stuff and just act crazy. So, case in point, Grimlock. First time we see Grimlock, he's swallowing a car, and then he spits out the car, and then he breathes out fire. Why? Because he's a transformer. And then we have these baby, we have baby Dinobots.
Right.
Baby Grimlocks. Why? How? I don't know. They never say, right? And what it does, it spits out some kind of green goop or whatever it is. It blowing out little fire and stuff like that. Why? And this is how you introduce the character. The character always does something that kind of damages or messes something up. So like when we see Hound stepping on cars, when we see some other Autobots, they always damaging some kind of thing. Like it's like either the clumsiest thing or the most inept characters you would see. And then when they start talking, it's like, okay, blah de 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 blah. And it's always so larger in life, and it's like, well, what's the point of all this? This is how you introduce your character, be this loudmouth idiot, you know what I mean? But anyway, so Cade, I hate that name, Cade Yeager, who owns this owns this place, right? And of course the little girl jumps on his van and follows him because she just looking for this father figure. She just wants somebody to, because she knows him that he's apparently this legend. So she wants to join the cause to stop the Decepticons and the TRF and all that stuff. Meanwhile, Megatron, yes, I said Megatron. Remember the last film he was called Galvatron, right? They create this guy. He called him Galvatron. He himself gave his name as Galvatron. Now the man is Megatron. Right? Because movie.
Yeah,
Sorry, what's up?
Did they explain it?
Nope. He's just Megatron, right?
Yeah,
so he know once again just wants to stop Autobots once and for all, right? And notice I haven't talked about Optimus Prime yet. I'll get to him in a bit, don't worry, right? So in this scene, that when I saw it, right, I had to sit back and really ask myself, are we really seeing correct here? Or did this man talk to the TRF and organize, basically, so like, you picture this desert scene, right? So picture all these representatives of like the government, TRF, the military and stuff, right? They meeting with Megatron, right? So the humans, them calling on Megatron, right? And asking for his help to help stop the Autobots, to help stop Bumblebee, because Bumblebee is a threat now, right? He's the guy calling his shots when it comes to the Autobots, right? So they have to sit down with him, right? With Megatron. And Megatron say, alright, well, they want me to help all there. Okay. But here's what I need. I need a team threat. And you know again that. Dude, I swear to God, they do a Suicide Squad ripoff for us. You see scenes of other Decepticons who are arrested. And Megatron is like, I need that guy. There's a character called Nitro Zeus. There's a guy called Nitro Zeus. What is that? What is that? You have another character Oh gosh. All of them is just basically like you see like how Suicide Squad is the worst. So that is like the worst of the worst Decepticons, the ones who get arrested. And
Oh,
you have
wait,
this
wait, wait.
one
So
Asian woman
wait,
who
quick
talking about
question.
they
How
charge
they
for this
following
one.
them now?
How they
They
what?
jail?
They are in prison, Dread. They either imprisoned or they had to look for them because they're doing like robberies and stuff like that now.
But
So
they
you
was
have
supposed
this.
to,
So
they
you
was
have this
supposed to
one.
kill them. The government was supposed to destroy all Decepticons. Like,
Yes, they were.
yeah,
They were.
yeah.
And some of them, because they have to they go around doing crime and stuff like that, right? So you have like this one character, he is black, right? He have a gold chain, real 80s style. He talk about, yo, you're not gonna let me down, man. I'm tough, man. I'm the best, man. You know, racial stereotypes again, right? And I am watching this thing and like, I can't believe what I see in here. They want to wipe out Autobots so bad that they need to call on Megatron, and he had to get his Suicide Squad team to go up against them.
Yeah, they actually do
And
that.
they have the call. Like every time they introduce the characters, they will freeze frame and show the name of the bank.
You serious?
They do that.
What the fuck?
And this is like an attempt at humor. One in many attempts at humor in this show that falls hard. And now I could get to Optimus Prime. So remember from the last film where he suddenly get the ability to fly, he flies off real Mary Poppins style, like,
yeah,
remember, I will be back. I was just thinking about Mary Poppins for a bit. But basically he sends out this message to his creators, right? He wants to confront them. He's like, well, keep your hands away from Earth or else I will come for you, right?
Yeah.
So when he's introduced, he's like floating in the middle of he's just floating in space, right? And then he somehow finds his way on Cybertron, and then this character called Quintessa, never heard this character before, but apparently she is a Cybertronian character, right?
Right, well that's quintessence in the comic is also the quintessence of the creators of Transformers. So
okay, right. So they are legit the creators. All right, okay.
Well, that's what I remember, yeah.
Right. Okay. So right, so here now, she imprisons Optimus and hypnotizes him or brainwashes him, if you will. I'll say hypnotize,
so
right?
Okay, so that's why
you saw it in the trailer where she stares at him, she eyes sparkle and and his eyes sparkle. So her thing is that she wants Optimus pretty much to bring about the destruction of Earth and Cybertron to be reborn, because inexplicably it was his fault why Cybertron is the way it is, even though from what I remember from part 1 there was a war that took place between the Autobots and the Decepticons, and that's why Cybertron was so messed up and so damaged, right? So Optimus is like, yes, I will do your bidding, blah 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 blah, the humans will die, yeah. And while all that is going on, we get this exposition scene from the very beginning, right? And I'll talk about the beginning, where apparently Transformers were there since medieval times. Right. And we see this intro with this big battle scene with, King Arthur and his merry... sorry, I say merry men. Yeah, so the second film this year with King Arthur, right? Yeah. And Merlin was he knew about the Transformers all this time, and it's only in this battle where he summoned them. And there was these Transformer Knights apparently, and when they joined up, they turned into this 3-headed dragon, because Game of Thrones is in now, so we have to have a dragon, right?
Yeah, do that, yeah.
And on the subject of Merlin, Stanley Tucci.
Okay.
Stanley Tucci plays Merlin.
Wait, why?
But into the last film, he was your boy, the scientist fella, right?
Right,
but they had to rope this guy in a cameo in the intro as Merlin, a drunk Merlin.
So wait, he's the guy's ancestor or something?
They don't say.
Anything,
he is just there as a cameo as Merlin, because
just fucking around.
That's why, right? And there's this scene where he goes to one of the ships that crash, one of the Autobot ship, and he had to call on the Autobots, and that's when they turn to the dragon, blah 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 blah, right? And there was this thing where they turn his staff into metal. They turn his staff metallic now, and he used that to kind of summon the Autobots and use powers and stuff like that, right? And then the staff was lost, and now there's this whole thing where now they have to go and find it, and oh yes, there's this whole and there's all these little things with where Cade end up finding something called the talisman, and the talisman ended up forming part of him, like it came on his body basically. And I'll have to jump into spoilers here, right? So all through that, there's this female.
Wait, so they do they do the thing what I wanted them to do in the second one? 'Cause I forgot to mention that. Remember the little key thing, right?
Right.
I wanted that instead of being this thing to resurrect Optimus. What I wanted it to be is like a weapon that could turn humans into Transformers. Like
no. They do that. They don't do that actually. No.
Okay, they don't do that. Okay, well I want them to do that because that was in the animated movie and it was badass.
Right. Oh, great. Right. Now, slight spoiler here, right? So, we get introduced to this female historian, right? She works at this university in England, and how they introduced her was just so Michael Bay. She doing like this polo scene, like playing polo, and you seen it in slow mo and all these great shots and everything like that.
And she bouncing on a horse, of course.
Yes. And then when she come out, some fella makes some snarky remark at her. See, what are you doing playing polo and you're supposed to be a teacher and blah blah blah. And she's like, well, what do I have to do with anything? And the guy say that's why you're single. And on the subject of that, they have this whole thing where like her mom and her mom's friends making fun of her because she's single and she don't want a man and she want to be independent and all that kind of thing.
What? Anyway, all this nonsense?
So to make a long story short, she and Mark meet up. Real inconvenient, by the way. And they run into Anthony Hopkins' character, who I say narrated the intro, because he's this guy who's like documenting this whole thing with Cybertron and this whole thing with Merlin staff being reclaimed and all that kind of stuff. And yes, he does help out with in the show, and he has this, swear to God, C3PO assistant.
Okay.
Some Cogsworth or Cogsman or whatever the name is. I don't care. Right?
Okay.
Blatant ripoff of C3PO. Except that he more psychotic. Like there's this one scene where like this is just a conversation scene, right? Where all four of them talking, right? So the woman asks Cade, you're inventor, what if you invented? And Mark, like this real asshole, he's like, I invent all kind of things. Patent pending. And real showing off now. Like real saying, well, I invent a lot of things. I don't care.
The problem, right? Again, this might be a stupid nitpick here, but if you're patent pending, how you run it from the government?
That's a good point.
You know?
That's a good point, yeah. So, he being real brash about it now. And I'm like, but why are you acting this way for? You're supposed to be the lead. Show some respect now. And then there was this thing with him, and oh gosh. There's this scene where, oh yes, in case you're wondering what happened to his daughter's in college, right? Just a reason for her to be out of the movie, right? So there's a scene where he calls her daughter and she's talking to him and she's saying,
he paid for that college?
Apparently so.
Yeah, but again, but he running for the government.
But he running for the government, right? But he had time to sit down. He had time to call his daughter who in college, right? Okay, right?
Yeah, and apply to college.
And she, on the other line, saying, stop being a hero, settle down, get married again. Remember, he's a single dad now because, divorce and all that kind of stuff, right? So they're trying to force this romance between the two now. But because Mark being this real douchebag now, and all throughout the show, he just being like a douchebag to her. You're like, but there's no chemistry between the two. And of course, near the end, when everything is on the line, that's when they want to force it in. And suddenly they kiss and all that kind of stuff. Real out of the way, right? Yeah. So, I'll get to the spoiler. And this is one of many things that was a slap to the face, right? Now, from Age of Extinction, right, where right after Optimus got captured by Lockdown, there was this thing where they mentioned the creators, you saw this literal round table and you saw these swords now. Now the idea there apparently is that Optimus was the last knight now. So I assume because of the knights that we saw in the beginning of the movie that Optimus would be the last one now. No sir, it's not that. The last knight apparently, spoiler alert, is Marky Mark.
Why?
Because
what? Why?
The talisman shows him, and he was destined to help find the staff that will help stop the bad guys.
So once again, they make it all about the fucking humans. Yeah, lame.
Why couldn't have
Lame.
Optimus been the last
Yeah,
night?
let's just do that shit.
He is
God.
in the poster. Make him the last night.
Yeah,
You
but
set
they
it up that
they
he
just have to
something
hammer
do
home the
with
human
it.
crap, Judd.
Yeah, but no, he not there. And then to make matters even worse,
You make what?
to make matters even worse,
Right.
the female historian, I forget her name, right?
Yeah.
I think it was Vivian or something like that. She is the descendant, direct descendant of Merlin.
Okay.
And it's her job to find the staff
Okay.
and help bring about this plan. I kind of
Okay.
think it would be Anthony Hopkins because the way how he trying to learn more about this kind of stuff. But no. Just inexplicably, it was the girl. And just in that conversation scene alone, that's where they learn all this.
Right.
The convenience of it all. And
Yeah,
I'll just
that's-
stop here in terms of talking about story because this, is one thing to be inconsistent with your story, right? With a story. But when you set up this universe, when you have 4 movies where you telling us this is the reason why these Transformers have been coming down to Earth 4 times, right?
Yeah.
Now you're gonna come to tell me, big spoiler here, kind of. The main reason why Quintessa and all of them have their sights set on Earth all this
Yeah.
time, Earth is Unicron.
What? What?
No, when I heard that, when I
Oh,
saw
no, wait.
it,
Yeah, no, I heard that.
because that
Yes,
is
I
why
heard-
you saw
no,
in the
one of
trailer,
the-
that's why you saw all those horns now. Yeah, this is so subplot where these horns keep showing up in different countries now. And this
Right.
show hops from country to country as much as, say, Quantum Asylum of Solace, sorry. They
Right.
they
No, but
globetrot so much in the show. man.
it's one of the cartoon series did that, I think they took that from one of the cartoon series, that Earth is Unicron. I know I heard this from somewhere before.
Right.
No, but that real fucked up though.
I
This
know.
is bizarre.
Now, at first glance, you might think, well, you know what?
No,
That's actually a kind of clever
Interesting.
twist now. That's kind of
Right.
interesting now. How
They
they
do
play
anything
it
with
out. And spoiler alert, the sequel that they do hint at will go into that whole Unicron thing. But
Okay.
then that brings up a point. A friend of mine, his name is Brandon. I had to shout him out. When I mentioned to him, he was like, but that kind of don't make sense because if Unicron is supposedly, cause this is why I remember him from the movie, the animated movie,
Right.
this big gigantic transformer that could turn into a planet and devour worlds, right? And he was the one who devoured Cybertron in the first place.
Yeah.
Then you telling me this big gigantic robot was in Earth all these centuries, and now at this point in time, he about to surface.
Well, whatever. I don't know what's the story.
Why?
I know, wait,
how he
it-
get there? I don't know because the movie never.
Wait.
says
So I don't know. Wait, he
anything.
is Earth or he inside Earth?
Well, they kind of don't really say it. The idea that they say is that he is Earth. Or Unicron
Okay.
is Earth. That's what Quintessa says.
Well, I mean, he older than Transformers supposed to be older than humans anyway. So it's like, alright, whatever.
But the point
Is it-
is, Ricardo, it's Earth.
Yeah. Okay.
People have been living on Earth for centuries. So, how are you telling me that all of life formed on this machine, on this transformer, that was
Right.
hiding out as a planet
Right.
for eons?
Well, it's whatever billions of years. Look,
So the
shit
ice
like
age
that.
happened. All these things happen.
Right.
Dinosaurs
But
happen.
I
All these
think
things
he's
happen.
so big is Earth, right?
And-
I mean, he's supposed to be decided. No, he has the bullshit part, right? So,
Jesus Christ.
so you're trying to
the
tell
more
me
we
that.
talk about it, the more it makes no sense.
No, yeah, why it's stupid? Because that means geologists.
Laugh no, let me laugh at how stupid this is now. Let me
Yeah,
go, let me go.
geologists, volcanologists, all these people who had all these theories about Earth was dead wrong then.
It was
I mean,
dead
they
wrong.
called the
It
Earth,
was dead wrong.
called the Earth not true.
No,
You couldn't drill down. They couldn't drill into the Earth because there's rock.
yeah. Because
So
at
he's
the
rock
center of
dead.
the Earth,
Eh?
or the center of the Earth itself, or Earth itself, like
No,
I talk
but
about
if,
underneath now.
if he's the core, I could kind of buy that. I could kind of buy that. Maybe he's the core of the Earth. But that means all of your science about the formation of the moon is bullshit.
yeah.
Okay.
And even if you want to argue that he is this gigantic robot, right?
Right.
He's showing up at different points in the world. So how big is this thing? And I expected him to
Wait.
be like,
Okay. So here's the thing. I still not clear on whether or not he is the Earth or if he inside the Earth.
and once again, like I say, they don't say. They just say
You're right, see.
he
Okay,
is
okay.
it. He is it.
Okay. Well, that kind of weird though. That's so bizarre.
Yeah.
That's, but no, I know one of the cartoon series did that, but I never read up or follow up on it now, like what that meant exactly or what was convenient. But the big spoiler was Unicron is Earth kind of thing now, or Earth is Unicron. I ain't too clear what was going on,
Right.
but they changed it up now. Like he's not a separate thing, but he is Earth, and that's how they're gonna bring in the story. Whatever.
Yeah, but the way how they set it up with these gigantic horns that just rise up from deserts and stuff like that, you would assume that this guy is like the size of the earth, literally.
Right.
Or something. I don't know, but they don't say.
Okay.
But now that brings into another thing that they try to do and they fail miserably, right? They're trying to tell me now that these robots have been there during history, right? I know they hinted at part 2 in the beginning, but here now they're saying is that they were instrumental in particular events in world history. So yes, you start off with, you know, the war with King Arthur and stuff. Oh, and by the way,
I heard something about this.
Yeah, by the way,
somebody was making a joke about
I know you're talking about, but before I forget,
right,
this show have the nerve, right? Because it's Michael B, right? Now you know the new cool looking Paramount Pictures logo, right?
Yeah.
As soon as those stars come around the mountain, right? You seeing like 3 fireballs coming up from behind.
Right.
From the sky. And that is supposed to lead into, oh, this is a big battle scene now, and we have fireballs. And this is one thing I was thinking about with Michael B, right? Now, let me just forget about the fireballs for a bit. At his age, right? Like, if he wanted to, he could have done like a legit medieval fantasy adventure film. Something real bloody and R-rated, something like that. No, because it looked like something that, you know, if he had the opportunity and he actually made a movie like that, it would have looked really good. Yeah. But of course, because it's Michael Bay, you just have to throw in those trademark explosions in it, because you had to make sure it's you. And then later on in the movie as well, I'll talk about the history part just now. There's this scene where the C-3PO character, Marky Mark, and the British chick go inside a submarine, right? Submarine shots now. I tell myself, but, you know, remember Crimson Tide back in '95? Yeah. That was produced by Michael Bay's former producer in crime, Jerry Bruckheimer. But he didn't direct it because he was doing Bad Boys at the time, so they got Tony Scott to do it, right? Yeah. Like, when you think about it, like, when's the last time you see a really great submarine thriller? Years,
Long
right?
time, yeah. Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah? Like, you would think, you know, if somebody like Michael Bay, like, if you give this man a script now, a real good budget or whatever, he could actually make a really convincing submarine thriller now in this day and age. Because that's the thing about this show now. You see glimpses. I mean, of course, like, I'll say this once right off the bat. Once again, this looks really polished, you know, cinematography, all that. That's a given. Sound design, all that stuff, right? But, like, periodically, you'll see these little glimpses of, like, ideas now, just concepts. And you would think that somebody like Michael Bay, if he had the chance, would have made movies, like real movies like that. Like, he could make an actual medieval war film, or he could make a submarine film, or he could make a World War II film. I'll get to the World War II stuff in a bit. But
he did that already.
Still stuck here doing this stuff. Yeah. Now, the history thing, I'll get back to that. I'll get to that now. Now you're telling me that these robots have been instrumental in world events. So cool. You have a shot. You have this little painting of like a transform in Japan. You know, with the Shogun armor and stuff. Cool. Now, this is all through this long exposition scene with Anthony Hopkins, right? Now he's telling me that there's this secret society of human beings, right, who knew about the existence of Transformers. I was swore to keep these things a secret from like, you know, whoever was in power at the time now. And they helped out in certain historical events. So I am seeing portrait photos of Frederick Douglass and Harriet Tubman.
What the fuck? They can't be serious.
You want to tell me that somehow robots were involved in like what, the Underground Railroad? They were involved in abolishing slavery or something?
So they transform with an actual trade with a railroad?
I don't know.
The fuck?
And then you want to tell me now that Shia LaBeouf, aka Sam Witwicky, and you have this picture of him that looked like it from the second or third movie when he was young and thing, boyish. He was part of this society all this time.
Yeah, but they didn't know that. So.
And he had the name of the group.
That red card.
the Wit Wiccans.
Wow.
So now you're telling
Okay.
me the mere
Yes,
fact that his
fabricated.
surname is Witwicky, and
Right,
his
I remember
grandfather
that.
do all this stuff where he went in the Attic and
Oh,
found
okay,
all
okay.
these things
So
and the
it's
spectacles
the
and all that.
father was part of
Oh,
it.
right.
Grandfather,
So
right.
it was all that. It started from way back when. But even before that, I mean, this whole society thing, what is that?
Yeah,
And then
stupid.
now they had the audacity to put, well, you've seen it in probably a trailer or two or a picture or two. Bumblebee was involved in World War II.
Wow.
So him and another Autobot, I assume, driving into this Nazi mansion, transform, and just start to bust shots like crazy, blowing up
Right.
stuff, killing Nazis now. But
Yeah.
maybe I skipped out on this one. Maybe, but that brings up a question now. Couple questions, right? So if Bumblebee was on Earth at that time, right?
Right. Oh, you
But we
forget.
didn't see Optimus at the time until that event in part one where he was resurrected, if you will, right? What was Bumblebee doing? Was he
Yeah,
looking
exactly.
for his leader, his captain? And
Right.
if so, or if not, what he doing helping out the Allied forces stop the Nazi regime? To
Right.
what purpose? To what end?
Yeah,
They
dumb.
never say. They never say. They
Yeah.
could argue and say, oh, well, this is just a lead up to the Bumblebee spin off that we gain. I think it's in
Right.
2018 or some so, but still. What
That's a
was the
double
point
shit.
of that? It makes
Yeah.
no sense. That's so just from a world building perspective, from
Yeah,
setting up this
stupidness.
new history and thing, it makes no sense. Like what this felt like to me is like a bunch of high school students, Dread, had a whole weekend to cram for a history exam, and all they just had was like a bunch of history books and like a whole 6-pack of Red Bull. Or 6 packs of Red Bull. And they had a whole weekend to cram all this stuff in. And then by the time they actually come into the exam room, they're sick, they're tired, and they just puke out everything literally. And that's what it feels like. It feels like a bunch of historical facts
Crap.
and things, and this we supposed to retain all this kind of stuff. And then while we trying to understand what's going on, they're reminded, hey, remember this character from like about a half hour ago who did
Yeah.
XYZ? Now we have to go back to that character. And then you just forget about everything. Like all that exposition stuff that Auntie Hopkins was saying, I completely forgot because it just
Yeah.
made no
It's too much crap.
sense. It's too much crap.
Yeah.
There's no excuse for this, Dread. And yeah, inconsistencies. I mean that's something that just prevalent in this show, but it's
Yeah.
just so painfully apparent that these people just don't care. Michael Bay doesn't care. The writers don't care. The
Yeah.
editors. Oh my god, the editing in
That's
this show
rubbish.
was painful, like sloppy, painful editing. Like,
Right.
and it's only after I watch, because after I watch this film, I watch a number of videos of people just talking about how bad it was, right?
Right.
On YouTube. One reviewer actually made this point here that literally six people edit this film.
Right. Yeah. It's just all over the place. Nobody had no focus.
I was like, you don't need 6 people to edit a feature film. 2 for the
Yeah.
most. Okay,
2 for the most, yeah.
Fine, but that's 6, man. Come on, man. That's 6, man. That's sloppy, Joe. Like,
Yeah.
There's no need for that. What else? So I mean, well, positive wise, like I said, cinematography is really good. I mean, it's a Michael Bay movie.
Yeah,
It's
it's
always gonna look good. It's always gonna have that sort of, oversaturated look anyway, and
Right.
you get what you asked for, what you paid for visually.
Right.
Sound design once again is on point. And yes, even when it feels like the soundtrack or the sound itself is just beating you over the head because of how loud and abrasive it is, it's
Yeah.
still very well put together and stuff.
Right.
The acting, I wouldn't say, it's really hard to say that the acting was bad now because it's just that these talented people are given these terrible characters and these terrible lines, these horrible lines of dialogue to give. So I can't really say that Mark Wahlberg was terrible in this show because he was given bad lines. It's just that he's a great actor, but he's just given bad things to do, essentially. But I really did hate his character. I thought he was whiny. He was just more of a bitch and more of like an asshole. I tell you that. I hated the way how he was talking to the girl. And by the way, the subject of that girl, she just essentially, just from a visual perspective, She's just another Megan Fox.
Right.
That's why she's there. That's why she's there. The blonde thing didn't work out with Rosie Huntington, right. So we had to go back to brunette now. So let me just get this brunette chick and make sure she's real slim and, you know, all that kind of stuff. But, you know, it's 2017, Joe. We have to be more PC. So let's make her smart, give her glasses and stuff. Make her a teacher, Joe. You know what I mean? Can't just be some hot chick who works at some motorcycle place. It can't be that anymore because, come on. It's not 2007, right? You know what I mean? But, and, I mean... she's given things to do, actually, but there wasn't really any purpose except for, oh, I am the descendant of Merlin, and that's it.
Yeah.
And what else? A few other characters show back up. Josh, I forget his name. I forget his surname.
Yes, he do from the first movie?
Yes, he do for the first movie, right?
What the fuck?
Well,
why
the first three movies. Yes, the first three
right,
movies.
Right, yeah. That the guy who I hated because he was a human and had too much screen time.
Oh, right.
And they keep trying to put... He's the one who had the motorcycle scene in the first one, right?
Which I love, actually. I love that sequence.
Yeah.
It's so... It's fun. That's what I love about that scene.
I just hated how these humans had so much goddamn screen time.
Right. It's Judge Duhamel, right? Yeah.
Right, yeah.
This guy who played Lennox, right? He is back in this movie. I'm like...
Who?
Wait, he played Lennox. That's his character's name.
Okay.
Same guy for the first movie. Well, for the original trilogy, I must say, right?
Right.
So he's back in this show. The first time I saw it, I was like, wait, you in this show too? But why? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But here's the kicker, though. He is part of the TRF. So because he's a soldier, or, you know, he works for the government, he kind of have no choice but to help these people bring down the Transformers. Which is kind of funny because, you know, the first three movies, he assisted them, right? So you would think with better writing and better character development, you know, it would have made sense. But when you see it, it's like, dude, it's just painfully apparent that you just looking for cast members. You're just desperately looking for them. Why you think they cast Stanley Tucci as Merlin?
Right.
All the other actors in the world, you just pick him after he starred in Age of Extinction as this, you know, supporting character. And then, wait for it, this is where things get worse. John Turturro's back.
Right, why? He was in this?
Yes,
really?
He was in it.
Okay.
So, wait for it. So, tax in this whole thing with the Transformers, all that stuff, right? Transformers are primarily outlawed in the majority of the world, except for Cuba. I wish I could make this up. So in Cuba, because of, I forget which Castro it is in power, right? They're cool with Transformers there, man. So...
No, but it's Raul because...
Yeah, Raul. Sorry
Raul,
about that.
because the other one died. Fidel died.
Yeah, of course, right. So Mr. Simmons is there, and he just like keeping tabs on what's going on in the Transformer news now. So he know about this event that's going to happen, and he know, okay, Megatron going to do this, and he do it. And he's like this kind of like liaison, if you will, for Anthony Hopkins' character. So he was calling them and finding out what's going on and all them kind of thing now, you know?
Yeah.
So I'll get to one scene with editing. Forgive me if I keep jumping all over the place, but that's how the movie was to me, right?
The movie jump all over the place.
So I have this part where, like right after the conversation scene, is something involving Anthony Hopkins' character, right?
Yeah.
Just so right after that scene ends, right? Like he's about to leave, he's about to drive off, and I think the Cogsworth of his name was driving, right? You ain't even establish the fact that he going to go into this car, that he is in the car and he's about to move, right? Or he's heading down to this spot. You just show him in this different place, right?
Yeah.
He just cut to Simmons on this payphone. That's so by the way, that's where we own that's the only place that we see him in this movie, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, sorry, we see him there and you see him in this apartment building with a bunch of maps and all that kind of stuff, trying to decipher stuff. Like, think Mr. Robot, like how it was, like how he had all this kind of stuff, that's how he was. So he's like the conspiracy theorist kind of thing, basically, right? So,
right.
So he on the payphone talking to Antina, but you just see him talking, right? Now, of course, common sense tell you he not gonna call. All right, well, since it's Auntie Hopkins' character who needs Simmons' help, right? Common sense will tell you that of course Simmons didn't call Anthony, right? It was the other way around. But
Right.
you cut inexplicably to Simmons on the phone talking, and then you just cut back to Anthony on the phone talking to him. So you
Right,
even
so it's a
establish
bad
a
edit.
conversation. You just show him
Yeah,
on
that's
the,
a
you just
bad
show
edit.
Simmons. It's a bad edit. It's so
Yeah.
blatantly
Shameful.
apparent, man. Like, come on. Sloppy
Yeah.
shit. So
Right.
right, so because I just jumping all over the place, losing my train of thought. Right, so and then on the subject of visuals, but right, so this movie as a so bragged and boasted, this movie was shot with IMAX cameras, right?
Right.
Now, if you were to look at say Interstellar, for example, right, like if you were to look at it on Blu-ray, the IMAX shots are always full screen, right?
Yeah.
Because you want to show off the scale and the scope of the shot, right? And then you will go back to widescreen, right? For
Right.
the interiors and stuff like that,
Right.
right?
So you get The Dark Knight did that too. It was kind of
Yes.
sloppy. The Dark
Yeah, the
Knight.
Dark Knight did that as well too. I always forget that.
Yeah,
Now-
a little on the sloppy than the Dark Knight, but Interstellar did it well.
Right. Now picture this, right? That same conversation scene that I told you about with Cade and the British girl and Anthony Hopkins' character in this one big room, right?
Right.
Imagine that scene cutting from IMAX shot to widescreen.
Yeah.
Again
that's what
and
dumb.
again and again and again. And
In
this
one
goes
conversation?
on in a one conversation scene.
Yeah, that's real dumb.
It's a
That just- that just- that's a slop.
conversation scene.
That's obnoxious.
And there are so much moments in this show, action oriented or not, where it just keeps cutting back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah. Stupidness.
And I was watching this say, and I noticed, okay, I see in the black bars, top and below, and then you'll go back, and then you'll go back, then you'll go back. I like, wait there. Is something wrong with the projection or some kind of thing? Like,
Yeah.
I was looking at it, I was like, but wait, no, but I had to be the only one who picked up on this. And
Yeah.
then when I watched other reviews of it online, they said the same thing. When they went to IMAX, they got that same thing. They saw that.
Nonsense.
Yeah.
Sad.
But of course, when it comes to Transformers movies, you have to talk about the action. And the action is there. It's exactly what you would expect from it.
Right.
Flashy, over the top, slow-mo, a lot of fireworks stuff, the explosions, the boom, boom, boom. All that is there, Trent. But like after 4 films,
You ain't
dude,
kidding.
you've seen this stuff already. You don't care, Trent. You don't care about that. Even when they go to these climactic levels, like in the final scene, when you go into Cybertron and try to stop things, you don't care. You've seen all this stuff before, Trent.
Yeah.
And then
Sad.
they had the audacity, Dread, to rip off from other franchises, Dread. Like case in point, the C-3PO character, Star Wars,
Right.
right? Duh. They have like TIE fighters, Dread. There's a
Yeah,
shot of like
but-
TIE fighters moving in the air, and you tell yourself, wait, but this is not from Star Wars or something. What's this?
Right. Yeah.
And
Why they
then-
had a
To
weird.
keep with Star Wars now, the little Latina girl, I'll talk about her as well. She has this cheap ass rip-off BB-8 shirt.
Right.
It
Yeah.
just,
What the fuck?
or it
Right.
looked like a mixture between BB-8 and that Earth to Echo thing. I never saw that movie, by
Right.
the way.
Okay.
I know the black kid. He's a rapper. His name is Stro. Great rapper, by the way. But I never saw the movie. But yeah, take Echo mixed with BB-8, and you get this. What's his name? Squeaks. That's his name. Squeaks.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
And when you hear something like that, this is my robot. His name is Squeaks, right? You tell yourself, all right, this show gotta be trying to be a little kid oriented because you have this girl here, and I think it's in the second trailer where you saw the scene where she was talking to the boys, right in the Chicago scene there, right? Those boys are there for like 5 minutes.
Yeah. They do that.
5 minutes, right? They're just there to just run from machines, and that's when Cade come and set off bus shots, whatever, and that's it. End. That's the last time you see those kids, right? Last time. And about that kid, about that little girl. Now, you're thinking, all right, you have this little girl, this strong-willed girl, and she's gonna help in the fight. She does nothing in this show. Nothing.
Yeah, sad.
Absolutely nothing. She's just there, either observing or trying to be involved somehow, but they don't even give her anything to do. There's one scene, I swear to God, Trent, where she's on top of Howard's shoulder, right? And she
Right.
says, can can I help out? Can I be involved in the fight too? He's like, yes, I'm gonna lead you on into the front line. So this big Transformer is willing to take this little kill into the middle of this battle.
Yeah, stripping this.
And then this is part where the soldiers themselves, right? Well, the TRF, and spoiler alert, the TRF kind of realized, well, yes, we must help Optimus Prime, and I'll talk about Optimus Prime in a bit. We must help Optimus Prime because he will help save the world. And this is ship and see when they're ripping off all the tags, the TRF tags, right? So they go into this helicarrier thing. They're about to go to Cybertron to stop the bad guys, right? Well, Megatron included. Now, previously, Marky Mark tell the girl, this is not your fight, you don't need to be here, stay home, right? Stay back, stay on it. Right. Of course, she sneaks onto the helicarrier. And he's like, what is you doing there? I told you to stay. Not to follow her. She's like, I don't know. I thought we were family. I, like, smacked myself over the forehead when I heard that shit. Like, you just needed a reason just to put this girl in the middle of this war. So the excuse is, oh, I thought we were family. I want that to just sink into, let us sink in for a bit there, All of a sudden, we're family now,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. And let me get to Optimus now. Oh boy, Optimus Prime, Dread. The bad boy, the icon boy, the one who we love, Dread. Barely in the movie.
Yeah. How much time you have
in this movie?
Okay.
He is there for like literally under a half-hour time. Within this 2.5-hour run time. You see him in the beginning where he got captured and you hypnotize him. You see him again when they tell him, well, Earth is Unicron. And then in like the most convenient scene I ever saw in this movie, Dread, as soon as Marky Mark and the girl find the staff, he is there. He just shows up. They never show him on the way back down to Earth. You never show him following or tracking anybody. But as soon as they find his staff, magically he appears.
Yeah,
What?
As I say, I don't think I have to say any more about you. This movie's a hot mess.
I know. But
you know what?
Yeah, just have a few more things to say, but continue.
No, as I say, I was always thinking of these movies as the I don't know what to call it, but let's call it the movie version of remember we did the documentary review of hypernormalization.
Yes.
And that's how I feel about it. Is that if it did like 1/10 of these mistakes, we'd have jumped on it more. But because it just do so much bullshit, you kind of stop caring.
Yeah.
You check out. It's like, all right, well,
you can't help but check out. I do understand.
Check out. Yeah, exactly.
So
I check out with the fourth one, and I was like, I don't expect this one to be any better. I thought they would have do something interesting with this.
No. Yeah. I'll get to that, but the same with Optimus, right? So and yes.
I thought it would have been the fifth, like how Fast and Furious 5 get better.
I'll talk about that. No. Yeah. But good point that you bring up there with Fast 5. I'll take. So remember that fight that it was real hyped up, the epic fight between Optimus and Bumblebee.
Right.
Dude, you hate Batman v Superman so much, right? The fight in that between Batman and Superman lasts longer than this one here.
Oh, you're serious?
Had so much going on in that fight between Batman and Superman than with Optimus and Bumblebee. That fight lasts so little. It was just like about 2-3 minutes tops, and then just ends.
Sure.
And you want to hear how it ends? That fight. So Bumblebee they always had this running gimmick with Bumblebee, and the fact that his voice box was broken on his way down to Earth, right?
Right.
And he always used to use the radio. He always used to use songs and stuff to speak, right? And in this one painfully awkward scene, they have him say the line, well, the hook from, from Big Sean's "I Don't Fuck With You." It's there. I just smacked myself over the head again when I heard that. I was like, seriously? They always have to have like a song, like a pop song or a hit song there.
Right, so they do that Big Sean song?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So
and censored, of course. This was, I don't fuck with you.
Yeah, it's stupidness.
Really? So, and even at a point in the movie where, like, this is supposed to be a joke too, where they got Siri's voice for him, and he was like, he sounded like a chick, he don't like it, he ripped out the voice box, right?
Right.
He ripped out that chip or whatever it is. Well, he actually repaired it, right?
Yeah.
One of the Autobots did it, and it didn't work, he ripped it out, right? So at the end, nearing the end of the fight, right, with Optimus and Bumblebee, before Optimus going to do the death blow, Dread, Bumblebee speaks.
Okay.
And he says,
how he speak?
Optimus, stop! Stop it! You're my friend, or something along that line. Just paraphrase it. Stop it, brother, like along that line. And I'm not bullshitting you here. The curse that that Optimus was under was magically lifted, Disney princess style, because you heard Bumblebee's voice, and he Optimus now.
Yeah, so why did you say that?
Your voice, I haven't heard that in a long while, my brother.
Yeah,
and that was what lifted the curse over you.
Stupidness.
Fuck out here with that shit. And then, as you would expect, he has to do the grand, the rally corner. And of course, I don't know what it is up with Optimus Prime with these movies, shit. I am Optimus Prime. He says that like 3 times in the movie. Actually, like twice he says it, and one time he says because as he turned evil, suddenly he's Nemesis Prime. Because Quintus Cessa, whatever her name is, calls him that. So he's like, I am Nemesis Prime. So when he turns back normal and he does the victory, the speech, I am Optimus Prime. And then in the end, of course, I am Optimus Prime. Like, dude, you love yourself so much, you have to tell us this again. Yeah, 4 movies, we always hear the same thing. I am Optimus Prime.
I don't know what
just go on and on and on.
Yeah, you could go on, folks. I could really could, yeah.
Now, as you talk about Fast 5, Dread, think about Fast 5 for a minute. Think about the quality of the movies leading up to Fast 5, right? Look at what Fast 5 managed to do. It do a complete 180 of the franchise, Dread. Yeah. While it stayed true to the things that people love about the franchise.
Yeah, now we'll make it work, yeah.
And it was a smash hit. I would easily, I would still say it's probably the best of all the Fast and Furious movies. I know we could argue and say maybe 6 was better and all that, but it's what Fast 5 did in terms of the franchise. This franchise here with Transformers will be going on for 10 years, right? This is the 5th film. And this is what we get, right? We get all this history stuff which totally contradicts everything that we were supposed to believe before about the Transformers. We have this second MacGuffin, which is about this second thing that these robots have to get, and you could call it the Allspark, you could call it the Matrix, you could call it the whatever of leadership from Part 2, whatever it is. I think it's the Matrix of leadership, sorry, whatever it was, is the same thing. Yeah, and this is the biggest sin about this movie. The overall top number 1 sin here. It's the same movie, the same formula, beat for beat, just with a lot more padding, a lot more things that make no sense. And they stop and they give you all these exposition scenes. I was supposed to be like, ooh, so Harriet Tubman was part of this elitist group that knew about Autobots and kept it secret. Wow! You're just insulting your audience. You're just insulting the intelligence of your audience by telling me Frederick Douglass and Harriet Tubman knew about Transformers, right? You had me at, like, okay, the whole medieval thing, I kind of get. But not Harriet Tubman, man. Not slavery. Not Nazis, right? Come on, man. Don't do that, man. Please don't do that. Too much. And then...
you cross a line with that.
Yeah, and then when you think about what happened in Age of Extinction, you didn't even follow up on the whole thing about Optimus being the last night. No. Now Marky Mark is the last night. So you just slap everybody in the face right there because you seen Optimus in the poster. You take it, oh, clear, he's the last night. No, it's Marky Mark. He's the last night because somehow this talisman thingy somehow bond with him, and that make him the last night. So it's his destiny. Oh, and I forgot to mention too. Right after Optimus turns good, with the power of magic, right? Of Disney magic. The same knights that you saw from the intro, right? Are they
the trailer, yeah.
Right, for the trailer. And they real beating the crap out of Optimus now. And before one of them pull out this broadsword and about to like cut this man's head off. Wait for it.
Wait, the knights are human?
No, the knights no, I'm not talking about the human knights. I'm talking about the Autobot knights that help out
Okay.
King Arthur and them, right? They
Okay,
were
okay.
there because they were resurrected as soon as the staff was acquired. Like they were guarding
Right.
the staff now, basically, right? So as soon as one of them about to lay down the death blow thread, wait for it, wait for it. A sword materializes into Marky Mark's hand, and he swings this sword and blocks the death blow.
Okay.
He deflects the attack.
Somehow.
A human being
Yeah, well, last
deflects
time
an
he did fight.
attack.
No, but last time we did fight a robot, so I was like, whoever.
No, but think about this, Trader. You have a sword. I'm not saying it's a gigantic sword. Like, I'm not talking about Final Fantasy, you know. I'm talking about like a normal big broadsword, now. And
Yeah.
you deflect a bigger sword
Yeah,
wielded by an Autobot or a Transformer. And, you know, it's these moments, Red, where I was like, I can't fuck with this franchise anymore, Red.
Yeah, yeah.
The
As I say-
writers, the editors, the creators, the director, they
Yeah.
don't care anymore, Trent. They are just going to throw all this flash in front of you and just be like, you're just going to eat it up anyway because it's a summer blockbuster. It's a Transformer movie. You know you're going to hate it, but you're going to spend money and see that. 5 movies in Ricardo. Look at what Fast 5 did, how that revitalized the franchise, Trent. And look at how better the movies got gradually after that. I'm not saying that they are masterpieces, you know, in cinema.
Because you get into that argument because a lot of people has come with this snarky, obnoxious attitude of, well, you're treating this way, but you don't treat this way. And it's like, no, you have a metric of entertainment that you're supposed to do. If that's your attitude, you don't like movies.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
And
that person shouldn't even be part of the conversation.
Yeah. And you know,
so this attitude of, oh, well, these movies you should treat as bad and you should treat all of them as equally bad is not the case. That's bullshit.
No, even with something like Fast and Furious, you could argue and say, but you know, that realistically doesn't make any sense. But you know, take a look at that behind the scenes of that. They know it doesn't make any sense, but somehow, some way they do it in such a way they really take the time and effort to make you believe it, and they put even if it's a minuscule amount of logic, but
there's a word for this. There's a word for it, but it's very, very rarely used in film, and I wish more critics use it, which is called verisimilitude. You build a world, and you get a good sense of you get a good sense of, I don't know, internal logic now.
Yeah.
And I think
physics.
You have
rules. How could these things happen? How could
you have rules and you accept these rules and you keep that. So yeah, even if it's magic or if it's whatever it is, or if it still have some sense to make now. That's the problem with Transformers movies, that they're not even consistent in their own set of rules.
No, even from a historical perspective, Jed.
Yeah,
you mean to tell me that these creatures exist? Sorry, these Transformers were there in the 20th century and thing, long before Optimus was resurrected, all that kind of stuff, and somehow it was hided. It was hided. It was shielded away from history books, and nobody knew about it except for this society called the Witwickens.
Yeah, strippers.
Nah, man. And here's the thing. I'll get to my rating in a bit. Now, like I said early on, with the first movie, I was like, yeah, Michael Bay was destined to make this show. He was destined to make this beloved cartoon and franchise that we love, Transformers, into a live action thing. And it was, and it turned out great. It wasn't the best movie in the world, but it was a very decent movie. Yes.
Yeah, a ton of fun.
I would go back and watch that show any day. Any day now. You know what I mean? But then with the other ones, like, I don't know if it's the studio but I really want to put the blame on him.
Yeah.
I want to put the blame on Michael for this one, Jay. Because with everyone, it just gradually got worse and worse. It got more grandiose and more over the top, but the quality just went further down into the pits of hell. And I don't know, boy, just for a man like Michael Bay to say, you know what, I don't care, okay, you're still going to watch it anyway. I just can't, it's I don't know, it's just hard for me to wrap my head around something like this now. For somebody to have that much ego to say, I could get these VFX artists, I could get 6 editors, I could get 3 writers, I could get all these people, I could get Marky Mark, I could get Stanley Tucci to play another character, that compared to what he played before. I can bring back all these characters, and thank God that Tyrese wasn't it. He was doing Fate of the Furious, by the way. If he wasn't doing that, he would have been in this movie. So, whatever. But still,
I forget he was in this.
Yeah, but to bring all these people together and say, hey folks, this is going to be the last Transformers movie. Let me put we all into it. Let me go out with a bang. And you still shit the bed with this one. And you still move like you don't care. Like every minute of this movie, Ricardo, you will watch this and be like, this man don't care. This man does not care. To start off, to have the balls to start off your film with the Paramount Studio logo and then fireballs coming out from the sky, from the horizon into the next shot. Yeah. That should be the warning. That should be like the warning sign right there. But dude, I was just watching this movie in IMAX in this complete disbelief trip. I was just getting more and more and more angry. And the thing is, like, going into the cinema, I was angry already because some stuff happened, some traffic jam and all kind of thing. But then I thought, well, all right, I'll just watch some dumb stuff, have some fun, eat my popcorn, drink my drink, and, walk out of it. It was mediocre, but at least I had some fun with it. No. This show was just getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And then by the very end, and then when he had the little tease at the very end about, oh, well, Unicron is going to be the focus in the next film.
Yeah.
I just had a splitting headache, Tread. I just, like, literally, I was just looking out for somebody from the audience, right? They say, boy, that was the best Transformers movie I ever seen, boy, the best one. I just punched them, Tread.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's a little child or if it's a grown adult, Tread. I would straight up punch somebody in the face, Tread. If they come up and tell me that movie, Transformers The Last Night, was the best one that ever come out. No. I defend this franchise for 10 years. This is it. This is the end. This is the end. I've seen it right here. Seen it again. This is the end. That's it for me. And I'll just say it's inclusive. And again, of course, we're supposed to get this Bumblebee spinoff and Transformers 6 or whatever. And I think Michael Bay might return for that one. I don't know. But somebody had to tell me, like a critic or whatever, some early review or some early review or somebody had to tell me that, yeah, this upcoming movie is actually really good. It makes up for the mistakes of the last 4 films. It's actually a great movie. Go see it. Apart from that, if nobody tells me that, I'm not going to spend any money on any of these movies anymore.
Yeah, well, you didn't spend money on this one, so.
I know, but still, I bought my drink and I bought my popcorn, expecting to be entertaining. Sorry, to be entertaining, and I wasn't.
I really did check out from the fourth one, because the fourth one was like such a waste of time, waste of my time, waste of, when they say you don't really gonna get our 2 hours back. Yeah.
I that was me so and much. The 2.5 hours that I invested in this show.
Yeah. It's like a waste of time. I don't care. Because so 5 being terrible was like, okay, I thought they'd do something, but like, no, I don't expect that. The only thing I was hoping for was the Fast and Furious comparison. Like, oh, it might get back better now. But no, fuck that.
But I think a lot of people were looking forward to it. I was looking forward to it too now. Even from 4 now, you were thinking that, okay, with this quote-unquote dark direction, maybe we might get something a little bit more mature now,
they essentially let some time pass, and to me, well, it still make a ton of money, so they're going to get a sequel.
It will, but unfortunately, we're saying unfortunately, this is actually good. This is like the lowest rated in terms of
I heard that.
Yeah, critical now. This is the
and
lowest rated one.
It made the least money in the US. But in China, it did better than 4.
Of course, yeah. And I will say this before I get to my rating. Yeah. Believe it or not, this is hands down the worst Transformers movie I've ever seen.
Okay.
I'll go even further.
I saw people rate it as actually better than the 3 and the 4. 2, 3 and the 4.
No. And as I mentioned, 3 and 4. Now, normally, with the exception of the first film, which I say I could watch over any time, Transformers 2, 3, 4, right? I've watched those films twice. And it's only after the second viewing, well, at home now, home media. It's only after the second viewing where I just say, you know what? I've seen it again. I don't need to see it again.
Okay.
This one is the first one where I saw it once, and I saw it on big screen at IMAX. Yeah. And I have no intentions of watching this again. I have no intentions of recapping this one. to lead up to our next one. Because why? Because you just basically took all the history and the world building that you set up in the first few films and just threw it out. You just flush it down the toilet and create this whole new thing with world history and Autobots and Decepticons being there and all that kind of stuff, and nothing in it makes sense. The editing should not be this bad. The story should not be this poorly written. The characters should not be this thin and shoddy and generic and flawed and just lame and forgettable.
All this bullshit.
You should not have to waste the talents of Mark Wahlberg and Anthony Hopkins and Stanley Tucci and John Turturro. There's no need for that shit. And not and then on top of all that too, I stuttering here. On top of all that too, the main reason why people want to see these movies, the action sequences involving the Transformers themselves fighting each other, not even there. There's barely any fights between the Transformers themselves. I forgot to mention that. There's barely any butt-on-butt action. But there's more time concentrated on the bland, generic human beings that we don't care. And this was an error from day one, putting a lot of time into these characters that you don't care about. No. And it shows here.
Some people actually like it because I heard one of the action sequences, the final one, is quite good because they actually solved one of the problems that people hated, which is the close-up stuff. I heard it actually have it in full glory.
Well, yeah. They are, well, yes, you are right because the majority, some of the shots used to be like
I don't know. I only watched one review and that the person, and they said they actually liked the final action sequence.
I checked out at that, to be honest.
Okay.
And I'll just say this thing in final, right? And just these bumbling Transformers that just come off like cartoons, right? Like case in point.
Yeah.
Grimlock, who you only see like twice in the movie, right? There's a scene where like a bunch of the TRF guys in vehicles, right, driving down, and they never show where Grimlock came from. If he was just running, but somehow he just managed to fall in front of these cars, and then this big explosion takes place. So I don't know if Grimlock slip and fall and causes explosion, but it looks sloppy.
Yeah.
And I had to say this in final because, like I said, the more I talk about it, the more things come up. Remember Hot Rod? Remember that one Transformer from the Transformers movie? That
he took over. He took over from
as Prime. This one, and he is for some reason he is this French guy. He's this French speaking Autobot.
Okay,
and the reason why he speaks French is because he doesn't really like French, but French is the only language that he just kind of likes to speak. So he doesn't necessarily need to speak in French, but just need him to talk French because movie. You see, it's these things that real piss me off about this show, boy. All these decisions, all these little creative decisions to create all these gags that just fall flat, and yes, the humor in it fails miserably. There was no time that I was chuckling or laughing or giggling. None of these jokes work. It was just this pathetic attempt at just being funny, and all the jokes fell flat.
Right.
But yeah, let me just jump in to Marita. I could just talk all night about this. This one gets a 1 out of 5. This, hands down, is the worst Transformers movie. And not just that, this is probably the worst movie I have seen all year. And I went to cinema and watched 50 Shades Darker. I thought that was going to be the worst one.
Yeah,
this to me is the Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice of 2017, Dread. Well, a show that had so much potential, even right in the hype, in the marketing. And then when you see it, it's just this monumental mess, a monumental feeling that just gets from bad to worse with every second.
Okay. Because I kind of knew it was going to be bullshit, and not to the kind of vague ethereal sense that Batman v Superman could be bullshit. Because Batman v Superman, it get the feeling at least they had some weight behind what they wanted to do. So it's like, all right, it's important to you, get it right. No, say Michael Bay at this point said, we're not going. I just gonna do it my way. Fuck you.
Yeah, so, and I'll just say this in conclusion. Right? This to me, like, I was aware of the Michael Bay backlash from a long time. Like, dude, you killed the franchise. What are you doing? All this kind of stuff. But
and the ridiculous attitude of rape my childhood and that
exactly.
Nonsense. Yeah.
But here with this movie is so apparent, right? It's so apparent that he and his cast. Well, I wouldn't say the cast, but the crew and them, they don't care anymore. They just throw out this bullshit product, hand it out to you, and say, consume this, eat this shit, eat it.
Yeah, sad.
Salo style, eat that.
Yeah,
You know what I
Salo.
mean? Eat that. It's yours. You want it. It's
Say,
summertime. Eat
Human
that.
centipede.
Yeah, eat that because
You
you
are the
love it.
fourth. You are the fourth in line in this. You are the fourth and the fifth in line in the human centipede.
You know, and you
This is
know
the
you
fifth
love
in
it.
the human centipede.
And you know you love it. You know you love it. You know you want it. Like I was making this joke early on with this year, in this series, with it being like a drug, the whole franchise being the equivalent of a drug. Like I got that new Transformers, man, 100% potent, man.
Yeah.
It's a shit, man. It's bomb, man. Get you high, man. That's how it is. But not this time. Not this time. This was the opportunity. This fifth film is where you could have just turned the tide, literally. You could have changed things. It could have either be something mediocre, like say Underworld Blood Wars, or it could be something great, like Fast Five. But nah, you just make something terrible, and I just can't get over the fact that these people just put all their time into making something that they know is going to suck, because they know it have idiots like me that just going to spend money and just watch these things. But nah, Fuma once, shame on you. Fuma 4 times, shame on me. This is the 5th one.
Yeah,
I'm done with this shit. I'm done.
Yeah, sad. Real sad.
Yeah.
It's a shame. I really wish they'd reboot it. You know, to do it like how the War for Cybertron games are. You know, it have got a good treatment for Transformers. Well, I guess the next one gonna be Beast Wars. So
I doubt it, but you know what?
yeah, they gotta do some shit, because if it's Unicron, guess what? I think they're going to do this, right? Unicron is it, and then like animals gotta be mixed with Transformers because they had to evolve on Unicron or some bullshit like that.
That's what they did with Age of Extinction. Remember?
Well, no. They have to do it like
dinosaurs thing, right?
They had to mix with animals, not just.
Oh, like flesh and
Right,
okay.
right. Because it's like how Beast Wars was now, when they scan animals and the DNA and that whole bullshit. Whatever.
That would actually be a creative idea. And
yeah, but that too creative, so
yeah,
they're not gonna do that.
Last thing, right? Before I end this vent for good.
Yeah.
The worst part about it is that they just keep taking things from the Transformers lore and trying to integrate it into the movie, and they take it all smart.
As
like
far
with
as I know,
with
I had to look
Unicron,
it
for
up.
example.
I had to look it up. Which series or comic did that? I think it's one of the more recent animated series did that, where Unicron was a big plot reveal.
Yeah.
So they took that. So they know their audience.
Yeah. So they take it because they think it'll cater to the old school fans, man. And they think it's all smart and clever, and you know, it's just sloppy and lazy. That's the word, lazy. And like I said before, there's glimpses of things that, you know, like if Michael Bay had the opportunity to actually make other films, right? He could actually make these kind of things. Like, look, case in point, 13 Hours from last year. Not the best war movie I've seen in the world, but it was actually really good, you know? But you stuck with this franchise, right, that you know people love, you know people are amazed by, and they can't wait to see it. But you just don't care. You don't care about the fans, right? So you just literally like defecate or masturbate over this this movie and just be like, here, take that. Because I don't care anymore. Because I still making money. Fuck you. I still making money. I still making money off of this. But like I say, this is it. I'm done. Fuck this movie. Fuck this franchise. And if I hear anybody come to me and tell me, oh, this movie is like the best one ever, and this is a masterpiece, this is the best movie ever tried in the world, fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now that I've finally gotten that off of my chest, Ricardo, where could we find you online, dude?
Passat RMEDDY RMEDDY on Twitter. That's at RMEDDY at RMEDDY on Twitter, and then you can just type in Ricardo Medina on Facebook. You can find me there.
Well, you could find me on Twitter as well too. Just look for Legally Black MJB and capital letters. You could also find me on Facebook, where probably at this time in the recording, or probably within the next few days or so, I probably might just, you know, vent a little bit more, just add statuses about why this movie failed so much. This movie, of course, being The Last Night. But also you can look for a Legally Black official fan base, where you'll find the link to this podcast here, as well as the others that we've done before, and of course my written stuff. And also I will leave the link to a written review. Actually, is the first, and actually I would say the only written review that I've done for a Transformers movie. In this case, it was Age of Extinction, right? So I will leave my thoughts on that particular film, because while I didn't hate that film as much as all that, you know, but you know, it still was a letdown. But this one This one, boy, this one dragged the franchise down so much, boy. Yeah, like I say, I just tune out of it, boy. But still feel free to let me know what you thought about the Transformers movie in general, and even this one. Just don't tell me that this one was the best. And also feel free to let us know what your thoughts were on Cast 3 and Better Call Saul season 3.
Yeah.
So stuff to look forward to. I'll start off with basically a new show premiered on Netflix by the name of Glow. It premiered last Friday, the time of this recording. I didn't get around to see it, unfortunately, because I was trying to catch up on Better Call Saul. But I haven't heard much about it, but I know it has McGill, Alison Brie in it, and I know it involves women's wrestling. So, yeah,
okay, cool.
Why not? Why would I not want to see that?
Yeah, it sounded cool.
Yeah. Baby Driver is
what I was pretty hyped for that for a while.
Yeah,
so
can't wait to see this. I hope that it'll make it to my top 10. That's how hyped for this one is.
Yeah, pretty hyped for Baby Driver. I think it'll be about. Hopefully, I'll enjoy it about as much as I did Free Fire, and I really enjoyed Free Fire. So.
I know, as you bring up Free Fire, that would actually be a great double. If we actually
double
features, Free Fire and Baby Driver would be the perfect kind of perfect unconventional action movie, double feature. I think it would work. Yeah. As for other TV shows and movies, none really come to mind. I know that Spider-Man Homecoming is coming out next week, so we definitely will be checking that.
I heard a quick review of that, early reviewer that I have it that's very, very good.
Yes,
in fact, they put some people put it almost as high as Spider-Man 2, or probably even higher in some cases.
Ooh, okay, that's great.
So it's up there. I heard it's quite good.
All right, but but I can't wait for that. Of course, cool. War for the Planet of the Apes and Dunkirk.
That excited for that the most probably for this Soul Summer.
Yeah,
and probably Dunkirk.
Yeah, I actually hope that with July coming around, or at least with June coming to an end, we do get some legit great summer blockbuster movies. Not away with the Baywatches and the Transformers and all that, and the Mummies and all that kind of stuff, and the Pirates. Give us good stuff. Give us original stuff, which is one thing that Baby Driver's been getting a lot of praise for.
As I say, I don't mind the remake stuff, but you had to tell a story, man. Shit. Planet of the Apes is a good example. The total remake, but they're telling a story.
Yeah.
Tell her shit, man.
Yeah. And what I can say just in closing, before we close things off, just thinking about Transformers again, and this is state of Hollywood. Hollywood, boy. Y'all need to stop this shit. Y'all need to stop.
No.
Dish again and again.
It's a kind of, I don't know. It's a kind of cancer going on right now, which I don't know. I don't know what to call it, but it basically is the hyper-normalization problem, which is they will test you to see how much you could think this bullshit now. How much you'll tolerate the bullshit.
Yeah. And you'll tolerate the bullshit. Transformers the last night. That was a torture test, man.
Yeah, and then they'll put, and I think they put in so much bullshit out there that you kind of had a shrug and give up now. That attitude now.
Yeah, boy.
But they'll still make money, but it's not for you, and it's a whole you're being replaced attitude now.
Yeah.
That they really don't care about quality or anything like that. But you could always make good movies. And whatever.
But
Moving on.
I have a feeling one of these days this thing to change. Like I don't know if it could be like the next Great Depression or something, but this kind of mentality though.
But I think the problem for the industry never had a real shake up now, so it have no incentive to do anything interesting now. You don't go try. It never had the disruption. Remember, film never had a disruption, so you're just gonna get this bullshit now.
True.
You might have people like Cameron and them who go try and give you at least a basic story.
Yeah.
But still, Bay is like the poster child of the bullshit now.
Of course, boy.
Yeah, sad. Whatever.
Yeah, real sad, boy. So sorry we had to close things off on a sad note, but we're gonna do. It's Bay's fault. It's Michael Bay's fault. Blame him. Yeah. Anyway, so once again, guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whenever you listen to this. This was Macho Bailey and
Ricardo Medina.
And we are signing off from another episode of Bears Beats and Bailey. So take care, guys. Until the next one. And once again, like I said before, if anybody confronts me and tell me the last night is the best one, straight up punching you in your nose.
He invited people to troll you now.
I can't wait. Anyway, guys, until the next one, take care. Later.
Yeah, please.